Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Super happy to be a part of this organization for the rest of my career.
Mookie Betts' deal. More surprising, the timing of it or the length and the amount of money?
So I know the Dodgers to this point under Andrew Friedman had not given out a $100 million deal. It was a matter of which guy was best. First it was Cole, but once it was not Cole, then it was Mookie. And forget about the back end of the deal. You judge a deal to me on, are you buying the prime years of a player and how good is he right now? And that team is loaded, Dan, for now and for the foreseeable future.
Paul in Boston.
I hate this, and I want to see him get knocked off.
Bringing you the biggest guests and best interviews.
I mean, how could you not root for Mookie Betts? You want to root against the deal, but I don't know if you want to root against Mookie. Mookie didn't do anything wrong.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave, this is Dan Patrick.
Yes, we made it to a Friday. I had the under. Hour one, Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. It's a meat Friday. I think we got short ribs on the Traeger. They've been marinating for quite some time. We'll update you on the progress of the short ribs throughout the program. Gang's all here ready to go. We'll check in with the head football coach of that team in Washington, D.C., Ron Rivera, will join us coming up a little bit. Joe Buck, Fox Sports. Duncan Robinson, our star player for the Miami Heat, one of the best shooters in the game. And George Brett, Kansas City Royals Hall of Famer. Feels like this is an anniversary. Was it on this day, Todd?
Don't ask me. I always get it wrong. I think it's 37 years ago today, 1983.
You think it's 37?
Pretty sure 1983, the Pine Tar incident occurred. The home run off Goose that was taken away.
Okay, we can't have him on if it's not the correct anniversary.
I'm going to go with 37 years ago today for 100.
Okay, you guarantee it?
Yes. July 24th, 1983.
If you're incorrect, you lose the other D in your name. So you'll just be
toe.
Be tough.
That'd be embarrassing.
Fritz. Alrighty, 877-3DP Show, email address dp@danpatrick.com, Twitter handle at DP Show. Play of the day, stat of the day. Ethan is back, so the sports world is a safer place. So Ethan will have some stats of the day for us. McLovin, of course, will have the poll question duties. He did say duties. It was a big day for team nicknames yesterday. We were introduced to the NHL's Seattle Kraken. Kind of weird, but kind of cool. And once again, these nicknames aren't for us for the most part. Kraken, you're going to have some fun with that mascot, the sea creature. Is this going to be a good nickname in 20 years or 15 years from now? Like the Mighty Ducks. If I said to Anaheim, I give you a do-over. Now, when the movie was out, it was kind of cute. But if I gave you a do-over, would Anaheim change their nickname from the Mighty Ducks? But Kraken, all right, let's see what they do. Have some fun with it. Yes, Eden.
Like, can you see somebody being like, oh, man, I just, like, live and breathe Kraken hockey?
Yeah, I think there'll be some of those people. I go back to Vegas and the Golden Knights, and I went, okay, Golden Knights. And then I think that they had a West Point person who was running the team or owned the team, and you had this Army logo, like Army football logo. And so I got that. The shield was the Golden Knights. Well, what helped the Golden Knights is they were good. The fan experience that you had there, we can sort of get by with a nickname when the team is good. It's when people start turning on you because your team's not good, and then they make fun of your nickname. But the Kraken, yes, Todd, what?
I was kicking around a few things with the Seattle Kraken, and I wanted to, if you're up for it, if you guys are up for it, to share with you guys some ideas marketing-wise off of that.
Do you want to get this out of the way early?
Get it out of the way.
I mean,
good way to sell it. But we're probably better off doing it sooner than later, just so you don't have to have it hanging like a dark cloud over all of it.
3 minutes in, though?
4.5 minutes in.
4.5 minutes in. This is what we want to do after everything that happened yesterday. We have to do Todd's Kraken.
It's not a lot of room.
Four guests. It's a Fritzy Friday with 4 guests, and he's feeling a little loose here.
Get messy.
Okay. Explain what you're going to do with Kraken.
Okay, so I took the name Kraken and I figured how can we play on words, because that's what I do with like my mock headlines and stuff. And what can we do with that from a merchandise standpoint or a broadcasting standpoint, or little things that the team can do to help sell the product and play off the name. And a few things I came up with include What's Kraken, a local pregame show at the home arena where lucky fans can ask a coach or player questions. What's Kraken? What's going on? What's going on with the team?
I'm good with that.
Okay, Don't Do Kraken, anti-drug campaign. It's always good to do that. It's community service. Community relations department can run with that. It's whack to do Kraken. The Hershey candy bar Crackle. Maybe they could work with Hershey's. Have a giant Kraken bar. Those are very popular. They come in the Hershey miniatures. It's the red wrapper with the crisped rice.
You started out well.
You don't like the Crackle Kraken? It's one of my favorite candy bars. I think a lot of people.
Okay,
like it.
I'm gonna let me do a preemptive strike here.
I only have like 3 more.
Todd, brevity today.
Okay.
Because
I'm a little hyper right now.
Yeah, brevity today is really important.
Okay, there's just 3 more. I'll keep it tight. Ready? I got Wise Kraken. Players tell taped corny jokes, which are played for fans on the big screen during a break in the action or between periods. Wise Kraken.
I got it, but don't repeat
right,
it again.
Like
and brevity.
Okay. Kraken Forth. A back and forth radio TV exchange between team beat writers and front office personnel.
No.
Kraken Forth. No. Oh, I did it again. And my last one was Slack and Kraken. Not as popular, but interview with the player that's been struggling, bringing the team down, not living up to expectations. Who is the Slack and Kraken? That's what I want to know.
Troy Aikman laughed at it. What's Kraken is fine. Cheese and Kraken is
that'll sell.
That's
Munster, Swiss, provolone. What do you want on it? Cheddar.
So what is a lovely snack offered at the concession stand?
Yeah, everyone does the hot dogs and the chicken fingers.
But
and the
what
French
is
fries.
so? What are you serving with the Kraken?
It's cheese and crackers, but but it'll have all kinds of different cheese options or jellies or fruit or whatever you like to put on crackers.
Brevity today is the key, Todd.
You don't like Slack and Kraken?
I do have no.
Someone's got to step up if they're not playing well.
Here's the thing. I made a mistake yesterday, and I said that you were the least valuable Dan at the halfway point. And it's
motivated
it
me
is
to step
true.
up my game.
It is true, but you didn't lose the vote. McLovin was the least valuable Danette yesterday. As a journalist, I made a mistake. You were not the least valuable Danette, but you're well on your way to being the least valuable Danette.
Wow.
Welcome to the program, already in progress here. LegalZoom, you need to make it legal. Make it LegalZoom.com. Not a law firm, but you don't have to leave your home. Visit LegalZoom.com today for more information. If you need some trademark help, maybe they could help you with a trademark if you're going to find a nickname for your team. So the Kraken, it sounded pretty interesting, and okay, the kids will like it. And that got washed away quickly because the Washington Redskins, they announced their new name change, and They said they were going to do this a week and a half ago. And I even said this yesterday before the news came out. And I go, when are they going to announce this? I haven't heard anything. Maybe they just call themselves the Washington Football Club. That's what I said yesterday. I was sort of joking. And then it comes out it's the Washington Football Team. And it reminded me of the Abbott and Costello Who's on First skit. The team formerly known as the Redskins will be called the Washington Football Team for now. And I guess you can understand why they'd simplify because, players are reporting this week. They got to put something on their helmet. Apparently, they're just going to put a number up there instead of, any kind of logo. But also, you get the sense there's some defiance by that owner. He didn't want to do this. Okay, I'll do it, but I'm going to do it on my time frame. The team actually is going to make a lot of money with this new look, and it's a lot cleaner looking, which makes you wonder why they resisted for so long, but like anything in sports, the move will look a whole lot better if the team is good. They've got a name, but there's still a lot of work left to do in Washington, like win. But I was told last night by a source who lives in D.C., and I said, hey, give me an idea here of Daniel Snyder's time frame and that he came up with this Washington football team. And my source said, to be fair to the Redskins, he said, while I'm rarely fair to the Redskins because they don't deserve it, this is a situation where to try to turn this around, get a logo, get everything printed up, have merchandise, that can be a 6 to 8 month process. But he did say, my source, this is also a situation where this team has known for quite some time they should be in the exploratory process of finding their nickname. And then what are the logos going to look like? And trademarking these. They didn't trademark anything. Everything was trademarked, and they didn't have a nickname that they could go with. Now, the Golden State Warriors, I think, are trademarking Warriors because they were concerned that Washington was going to do Warriors. But I still think if you're going to do something, if you're Washington, when you do this, you want to have a nickname that begins with the letter R. Therefore, Daniel Snyder can still keep that script R in the logo of Washington's football team. But we'll talk to Ron Rivera, who seems to be the spokesperson. Ron Rivera just got there 6 months ago, and he has to be the spokesperson. Now, we did ask for Daniel Snyder. I'm grateful that the Washington Redskins did give us, Ron Rivera, who just got there. And I said it's a shame that he's the spokesperson for the team because he has nothing to do with this environment. He has nothing to do with this nickname. He just took over the team. It's tough enough to win in the NFL. Now you go into this situation there. But Ron Rivera will join us coming up. McLovin, you got a poll question for me today.
Okay, if you're a Washington football team fan, do you go ahead and buy the current new kind of generic jersey, or do you wait to see if there's a new jersey in the future?
I'd buy it. Now, you're going to have your hardcore, your fan base that's going to stay, and they're always going to call their team the Redskins. They're just going to, and they're going to wear that merchandise. But if you're a fan and you want something that's unique and maybe it's a 1 year only that you have it, then yeah, go ahead. It depends on how much you literally buy into this team, how much you want to invest in this team. But if you love that team, now you might say there's no way I'm going to buy any merchandise that has to do with a new nickname. But if you want a novelty item, it's a novelty item. And I was joking when I said it yesterday. Like I thought they were going to act like they were a soccer club, the Washington Football Club. And then it came out the Washington Football Team. So Paulie goes, hey, Washington has a new nickname, Washington Football Team. And I go, what is it? He goes, Washington Football Team. And I said, what is it? He goes, no, that's the nickname. They're the Washington Football Team. So they're known as the team? Yeah, Paulie.
It's like Abbott Costello. What's the team's name? Yeah. The team's name is what? No, it's the team. The team is called the team. You could go for days.
Well, what else do you have, McLovin?
By the way, do you like the uniform? That was...
yeah, I'm fine with it.
I like it better.
I'm okay.
Just okay? I thought it was really cool. Don't you like simple? Kind of Alabama, Penn State?
Yeah, I got Todd.
Wow, that's a couple of shots in the first 10 minutes.
12 minutes and 35 seconds. Yes, McLovin.
Okay, I have a couple of baseball polls.
Yeah.
Off last night, I'd like to overreact, If I give you either the Dodgers or the Yankees make the World Series or neither make the World Series, which would you bet? They're the heavy favorites.
I would bet that both make it.
Or what? I mean, you don't even have to have both. I'm saying you get one or the other.
Oh, yeah, I would take that bet. Yeah. I mean, it was such a bizarre day yesterday. We had the Seattle Kraken, the Washington football team, and then you had opening night in baseball. We didn't know how many playoff teams there were going to be. Does Toronto have a home yet? But it's the new crazy. I'm not going to say it's the new normal. It's the new crazy. And then you start the game, no fanfare whatsoever. Dr. Fauci throws out the first pitch. There's no noise there. And all of a sudden, the game starts. You got a great pitching matchup. It was just strange. And I watched all of that. It was 5 innings because of, rain-shortened game with the Nationals and the Yankees.
Which is hilarious.
I know. But they started like lightning. So the shortened season and then a shortened game to start the shortened season, I thought was, that was apropos. But you had that game, and then the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw, gets scratched, and then all of a sudden, the Dodgers trot out Dustin May. Now, if you're a baseball guy, Dustin May is not a drop-off from Clayton Kershaw. As strange as that may sound, this Clayton Kershaw and this Dustin May was throwing gas last night. He was throwing a Hyundai. His curve, so his sinker is 99. His cutter is 94. His curveball is 86. That's not fair. And the Dodgers got a lot of young talent there. I love the mullet that he had, but he's 22 years of age, and he was dealing last night as the Dodgers roughed up the Giants. But, you start to look at these two teams and the Yankees. I mean, the Yankees are a softball team. They just keep coming at you. If they get pitching, any pitching whatsoever, then, yeah, the Yankees and or the Dodgers both going to the World Series. Sure, I'd buy into that. Yeah, see.
By the way, I had to look because I was like, who is this batting fourth for the Yankees? Because they must have gotten another guy named Stanton because he's down about, 75 pounds, it looks like. He looks like a completely different person.
Until he gets hurt, and then he'll come back and he'll put 70 pounds on. Like, I'm not the biggest Giancarlo Stanton fan.
I don't know how much weight he lost, but to me, it was very surprising.
He hit a bomb off my boy, Max Scherzer. It's one of those where when you're watching a guy hit a golf ball and it stays in the air for a long period of time, and you're going, man, he must have crushed that. Like, that was a ball that when it was hit, it felt like it was Bryson DeChambeau with a drive where you just go, that's still in the air. That's still in the air. And then it lands, and then the first ricochet, it was like, because usually a fan is going to catch it or at least deflect it. That thing went down, back up. It was like, a pinball machine. 466 for Giancarlo Stanton and Garrett Cole. What I love about that pitching matchup last night, and I know my boy Scherzer got banged up a little bit. Man, do those guys just pound the strike zone. It's just awesome to watch it. There's no finesse. It's just here it comes. And Garrett Cole's a bad dude. But Scherzer, he struck out a lot, but he got dinged there. And then Garrett Cole gave up one hit, and that was a home run. Yeah, McLovin.
Yeah, you hate to see the Nationals struggling as a Phillies fan. I mean, Soto gone before the game, no Rendon. Scherzer looks vulnerable. I'd say the defending champs are in big trouble.
Oh, shut up.
It's over.
You could have said that they look vulnerable before last night's game.
Yeah, that's true.
But Soto testing positive.
That seemed like a bad timing for the
Well, that's a really good player. And all of a sudden, it was like, Soto's not going to be playing tonight. He's tested positive. And I went, welcome to the new crazy. Yeah, Paulie.
It's really weird. I just looked at the box score. Both Garrett Cole and Max Scherzer pitched complete games. They get credit for a complete game. And, nobody pitches complete games anymore. Just about nobody. I wonder if it was the last opening day where both starters in the first game of the season pitched.
Yeah, but those aren't complete games.
I think they get it.
Well, but
if the game counts, they get a complete game.
But a complete game to me would be 9 innings.
I think that's a CG. I think it counts.
Well, when's the last time two pitchers opening day pitched a 9-inning complete game?
You're buzzkilling.
Yes, I am. I'm Danny Downer.
Back to Kraken.
Yeah. Todd, you got any more Kraken?
That's all I got so far.
Good. Thank God. Yes, Seton.
We just got the suggestion, by the way, that we should give Todd back his D, but take away the T.
Odd.
That makes more sense.
Odd Fritz.
Okay, all in favor. Let's vote on it. Seton?
You're going to call me Odd from now on?
Yeah. Odd is pretty good. I do like seeing his name spelled T-O-D, though.
I like the Todd without the second D. Because that was collateral damage, and I just like that we just locked it off.
But that's like a pretentious thing. Like that's not me.
Totally, dude.
I am so not that person that would have like some kind of strange name with like 1D spelling.
Like you immediately see it and roll your eyes.
Oh.
Like, oh, Todd with 1D. Okay.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Paul.
I had a gym teacher growing up, and his first name is Ken, K-E-N, and he legally went to a court and had his name changed to K-E-N-N. I still think about it. It was a generation ago. Like, why would he do that? It probably cost money.
Yeah, why do you care that much about the extra N?
And he changed his middle name to Dahl. Ken Dahl. K-E-N-N. All right, we'll come up with a poll question. Did we come up with a poll question, McLovin?
No, but I actually want to do, is 16 games watering down the MLB playoffs? Because how can you not think it is?
I still don't understand the whole playoff format here.
It's weird.
I mean, everybody's in, basically, it feels like.
Well, they did remove the 1-game playoff. Now it's 3 games. The shortest playoff could be 3 games, which gets rid of that thing where you could win 93 games, lose a game, and you're out.
We'll take a break. We'll talk to Ron Rivera of the Washington football team. He'll join us on the program next. It's almost 20 after the hour. This is the Dan Patrick Show. Need to make it legal? Make it LegalZoom.com. If you're wondering about the best way to protect your family, or maybe you're thinking about starting a business, but you don't know the best way to go about it, don't let legal questions hold you back. LegalZoom has been dedicated to helping you find the right solutions. They've been doing this for almost 2 decades now. If you're looking to protect your family with a will or living trust, you're thinking about the right way to start a business with a DBA, LLC, nonprofit, and more, LegalZoom has you covered. It's easy to get started online. If you need guidance, they have a network of independent attorneys. They provide advice to ensure that you make the right choices. And since LegalZoom is not a law firm, you don't have to leave your home and you don't get charged by the hour. Visit LegalZoom.com today to take care of some of the important things that you need to get done in your life. It's a strange world out there, and we're all faced with new challenges. So if you need legal help in overcoming some of yours, that's where LegalZoom fits in. LegalZoom.com. LegalZoom, where life meets legal. Assignment for you guys, because I have this autographed baseball and I don't know whose autograph.
How long have you had that thing?
Good question.
I don't know. I'm going to guess at least 15 years.
Whoa.
But
okay. Wow, that's big.
But I don't know how much that matters, because somebody who's 80 can still sign their name.
That's true.
Can we each look and we each get one guess?
But I don't know who it is.
Okay.
Fritzy, I'll let you start. Well, let me show the camera first, so they can see. That's the autograph. Bud Selig baseball. And I'm trying to figure out who this is. All right. Now, Fritzy, who do you think that? No, you can't.
Oh, I can't touch it?
No, why would I let you put your grubby fingers? Wow. I know where those fingers have been.
Oh, jeez.
Quite clean.
It looks like a... I'm going to say Reggie somebody.
Oh.
Who would be a Reggie baseball player? That's not Reggie Jackson.
What was the time frame
Reggie
you
Jackson.
estimated this?
It does look like R.E.G. I guess it could be Reggie Jackson.
Oh, man. Regal Bronfman? Is it remember him?
Oh, man, that's what I was going to guess. Regal Bronfman.
Regal Bronfman.
Rico Cardi.
Brosnan.
Right.
Yeah,
See, now all I could see is Reggie Jackson.
Do you think it's Reggie Jackson?
Well,
Okay.
here's a couple. Do you want
Reg.
I thought it was Reggie Jackson. It's just I've seen Reggie's signature before.
Doesn't look like that?
No.
Okay. Sean Salisbury got us Reggie Jackson autographed baseballs at Miller Park, and we got them for all of us, and they were much more pronounced.
Oh.
That said, we had Reggie Jackson on set at the golf tournament back in '03
Regal Bronfman.
up in wherever, Connecticut.
Hartford.
Yeah.
That
So it's
looks
a
like
possible-
Reggie Jackson, but it's like a hurried Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the baseball that you have at home, Dan, autographed. Let's hold it up here so you can take another look. I guessed Regal Bronfman, who is not an MLB player at all. So a lot of people think it's Reggie Jackson.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We now think Seton threw out this one, Roger Clemens.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Look at the S at the end. Look at the C. We are 90% sure this is a Roger Clemens autographed baseball. Look at the G.
See that swoop on the end?
Swoop, there it is.
Comes down.
Does that bring back any memories of that
No.
could possibly be Roger
No.
Clemens?
No.
We ran.
My daughter got this autograph.
Yeah.
Oh.
But could you argue maybe this J is closer to Reggie's J? I'm just trying. I think. it's
But
Clemens.
Reggie,
I think you're right. It is Clemens.
what's Reggie put here?
He doesn't always put a 44 there. There's many without a 44. Is that on the 44? Yeah.
I think it's.
You're right. I think you're right. I think it is Roger.
There's sort
Yeah.
of this stuff right here
Yeah.
that swoops down, and then this, it's like right
Yeah.
here. If you look at some other pictures, it looks exactly like that, where he did it so
Yeah.
fast that the pen didn't.
That's
keep on
amazing.
it.
I was so sure.
This could be a new segment here, sports
I
mystery.
was so
Well, I do
sure.
have a lot of
You're right.
gear in my attic. But that was one where I was puzzled. Now,
Maybe you misremember getting that autograph from Roger Clemens when you actually
Did not have- when I saw Todd stand up, I knew he had something.
you knew there was a line coming.
When he-
That's
really-
good.
when he
Okay.
chose to
No, I
stand during
like
this
that.
Now it's coming back to that. Maybe it
We
was.
still got about 50 here.
That's fun.
All right. So that's what I like.
Problem
A
solved.
Roger Clemens autograph.
Is this
piece?
more like, would you rather have a Roger Clemens ball or Reggie Jackson?
I'd rather have Clemens.
I think it's pretty interesting to have that one.
Do you know that I got a Tom Brady autographed football and I gave it to Boys and Girls Club for a charity auction?
Oh, that's nice.
And then the whole Tom Brady football thing came out. So the guy, like 2 months later, it came out and they were going to have this auction. The guy goes, "This is unbelievable, the timing on this." And he goes, "Did you know that this was going to happen?" And I go, "Well, I
Sources.
kind of caught wind of it."
How do you ask for it back?
Yeah.
this is
All of a
awkward.
sudden, I give him a Tom Brady autographed football.
Definitely can't ask for it back at that point, I guess.
Dan Patrick Show brought to you by Mercedes-AMG. Be prepared for whatever comes your way. The all-new GT 4-door coupe, because life is a race. Visit your local dealership for a test drive today. If you missed any of our interviews this week or any week from the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave, just go to danpatrick.com. Watch and listen from inside the Mercedes-AMG Man Cave, Mercedes-AMG driving performance. He is the new head coach of the Washington football team, spent 9 years with the Panthers. Ron Rivera joining us on the program. Do you got business cards made up, Coach, that say head coach of the Washington football team?
No, not yet, Dan. We've had to. We're going to have to get those changed over. And again, it's it's an opportunity for us to really think about what we want to become and go forward. What we've done is we've pretty much put a placeholder in place, and it allows us to really take the 12 to 18 months it's going to take to do this right.
How involved are you in this?
I'm very involved. Mr. Snyder and I talked before the July 3rd announcement that we were going to take a deep dive into our name and what it's going to take to change it. Then on the 13th, we talked about coming out and announcing that we are going to retire the name and the logo. And then yesterday's announcement on the 23rd, basically telling everybody that because it's going to take us 12 to 18 months to do this right, we're going to put a placeholder in place. And again, we're going to call ourselves the Washington football team for at least the year. We've put out what the uniforms are going to look like. They're very clean. It's been fun because our players have reacted very well. They like the clean look. They like the fact that we've kept the burgundy and gold. And I think the big part of that, more so than anything else, is there's so much history and tradition with the colors. So we want to at least make sure that stayed. And our Alabama players seem to like the fact that you're going to have their numbers on the side of their helmets.
You said that this might be 2 years?
Well, it's going to take time. Obviously, we don't expect it to take 2 years, but it's a process, and we're going through the process. We've gone through the first few steps. We have a firm that's involved, and they're taking the dive with us. They've been very, very thoughtful. They wanted to make sure they're very inclusive in the activities that they're doing to try and determine, what's going to help us determine what's going to be the best name for us going forward. This is a name we want to stand, as Mr. Snyder said, for at least 100 years.
It's tough enough to win in the National Football League. You know that as a player. You know that as a coach. And then you walk into a situation like this. You got a second-year quarterback. You got drama here with everything. I mean, this is difficult. And then you become the de facto spokesperson, and you've only been there 6 months, Coach. This is tough.
Yeah, it is. But also, if we do this right, this is something that can help galvanize us as well. It can galvanize not just the team, but the organization, and not just the organization, but the community. And again, if we do this right, if we present this in the right fashion, if we go out and do the things that we've told everybody we're going to do, we're working on changing the culture, creating a positive workplace environment for our employees, something that we can all be proud of and come to work and do things the right way, draw the community together as we go through this rebranding process. We need to do that. We need to do it the right way, and we've got to do it the right way because, again, there's a lot at stake in terms of not just the football, but the organization and the community as well.
He's Ron Rivera. He spent 9 years with the Panthers. Did you bring any Panthers gear with you to Washington?
I did. I've got some. I've got some memorabilia. I've got some great photos. Some of the great players that I had an opportunity to coach and be around.
But no team gear.
No team gear. No team gear. We had we had a yard sale when we left. No, we did. We raised $30,000. It was Tammy Reed's idea. She called Stephanie and said, when we left Philly, we had a yard sale. We made a lot of money and gave it to charity. Well, Stephanie came up with the idea. We were with the Humane Society of Charlotte, and we did this 3.5 hours. We raised $30,000 and went directly to the Humane Society of Charlotte. So even though I let go of a lot of personal stuff, it was cleansing as well. It really was.
How about the Redskins have a yard sale?
We've talked about that. Believe it or not, we because a lot of that stuff is iconic, and there's a lot of people that really believe in the name, just because of the history of it, and it was an organization that was revered. We believed, and I did because I was one of those guys. I grew up with the Redskins, and believe me, that was an iconic name, and the logo was iconic. It's an actual Indian chief, and so I treated it with reverence, with respect, and there are a lot of people in this community that still view it that way, but. Knowing how it affects some people in the community, it's one of the things that we realize that we have to go forward, and we're going to go from here.
When you saw that Cam Newton signed with the Patriots, your reaction was what?
I was excited. I really was, because I thought all along that there were a couple teams that would have been really good for him, and I always felt the Patriots was one of them. When Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, I thought, what, that might not be a bad spot for him because of the style of offense, because of the things that they asked the quarterback to do.
But what am I missing, though, with that coach? Because we kept saying he's not a backup quarterback. I mean, Cam Newton is, he's a starter. He's not going to be a backup quarterback. And then he had these workout videos. So I don't know if teams weren't able to kick the tires because they couldn't physically, meet him. But he, by all accounts, he looks great. Yes. So what am I missing here that other teams didn't want to bring him in?
Well, I think the not being able to really look at him, bring him in and work him out, I think that had a lot to do with it. I mean, think about it, for the last 2 seasons, he's struggled with the injuries. He really has. And, and not having him at 100%, not being able to play his best, I think reflected that way. And a lot of folks didn't think, well, maybe he's lost it. But the one thing I've always said is don't bet against Cam, especially when he has something to prove. I thought in 2015, coming off the 2014 season, even though we got in the playoffs in 2014, he didn't play his best. 2015, he played unbelievable. In 2016, he had an off year. He was hurt. Came back in 2017 and had just a great year that got us into the playoffs. And then in 18 and 19, he was hurt. And so I think he has something to prove. I think he's going to prove something. I like the fact that Coach Belichick and what they want to do offensively, I think that's going to suit him. And plus, I think Josh McDaniels is creative enough to use Cam's skill set to the best of his ability. So I'll watch them. I'll be excited about watching them.
I was always wondering about the rules with quarterbacks, and I don't think they applied to Cam the way they did other quarterbacks. And I don't know if his size, his athleticism worked against him, because I was there at that Denver game. Mm-hmm. They beat him up. I mean, yes. I thought that there should have been guys who should have been fined or ejected. Yep. They were targeting him.
Yes, and that's how I felt. I mean, again, that's just my opinion. But, the rules, to me, I always thought he kind of got the Shaq treatment. When Shaq used to get hacked underneath and he didn't get, the fouls weren't called, but somebody else get hit that way and then the flags would come, or the penalties would be called. I will say, as you look at the young quarterbacks that are out there now, I mean, I know Michael Vick set the trend, and then all of a sudden you've got Cam Newton out there. Now you've got the Patrick Mahomes, and you look at what he's done and how he's done it. These big, strong, athletic quarterbacks that are tough to bring down, that can extend plays, that can move around in the pocket and create. Those are the guys that are going to become dangerous. You're going to see, the passing of the torch in terms of the style of quarterbacks, because you don't see a lot of Aaron Rodgers coming out or Tom Brady's anymore. You see these veteran, these types of guys are going, and these young athletic guys are really, I think, coming to the front.
I had an NFL scout who said that, when a coach takes over a team, the first thing he looks at, he wants to know who his quarterback is. And if you're sold on that quarterback. So at what point did you see enough where you said, hey, Dwayne Haskins is going to be my quarterback?
Well, I've seen enough to say that he's going to compete to be our quarterback. If you really go down and you watch those last 4 games that he started and played, you feel pretty good about him. You really did. I did, that's for sure. But as I said, though, I'm not saying he's our starting quarterback. What I am saying is he's in position to be our starting quarterback. He showed enough that I believe that we have to give him a look. And I'm going to be very honest. That's why I didn't jump out and try to get Cam signed right away, because I have to watch Dwayne and see where he is. I can't stunt his growth. We've got to give him the opportunity to show us what he can or can't do.
I agree with you on that. The last 4 games, I saw something there, but I didn't see that earlier. Like I think Jay Gruden kept saying he's not ready. We don't want to put him out there, and then he got out there and he didn't look good at all. But the last month of the season, then I go, there's a chance for him to succeed.
Well, you know, when I got to Carolina, and the first thing that Marty Herney and I talked about was we have to establish who our quarterback's going to be. Is he on the roster? Is he in free agency, or will he be through the draft? And we saw Cam, and we saw everything that Cam did, and we said this is going to be our guy. So we had a plan going in to have Cam as our guy. I named him the starter early on in camp. We worked it that way with him. He took the bulk of the reps. And then once we got started, he took every rep. When you have a Derek Anderson as your backup quarterback who doesn't need reps, Cam got every rep. I mean, we had this little saying that guys have to get 5,000 reps before things become natural. And really what happened was by the end of Cam's second year, when we started to ascend, that's when you really felt, okay, this guy's going to be who we hope he's going to be. And then by our third season, we have our playoff run, and it really showed.
You were drafted by the Bears, 1984. Of course, played with that great Bears team that won the Super Bowl. What's your favorite story that you tell from that Chicago Bears experience? Can you tell?
Well, there's a lot of great stories, but more so than anything else, I talk about the memories. I talk about the guys that I got to be around. Hang out with Dan Hampton and play golf with him, and be around Steve McMichael and learn from Mike Singletary and watch how great a teammate that Jimmy McMahon was. Got to know some of those great offensive linemen that we had, and watch guys like Jimbo Covert get into the Hall of Fame last year. I mean, there's so many great things that I was fortunate to be part of. One of my favorite things that I always tell a story about is after Coach Dick came back from his heart attack and the players found out he was coming into the facility, Dan Hampton and Steve McMichael ran upstairs, went into his office, opened up his good wine, and started smoking his cigars in his office. And Coach Dick walked in and saw the two of them sitting there, and he had a few choice words for them. I mean, they were his favorites. They were a couple of his favorites, and he kind of let them get away with it, but it was pretty funny. And then he told us, the rest of the guys, don't any of you guys get any ideas, all right?
That sounds like something McMahon would do.
Yeah. It probably is, but I don't think Jim's a wine guy.
No, he's not. He's certainly a beer guy.
Yes, he is.
And maybe some other things that he might smoke. But you were there. Your rookie year is when Peyton broke the rushing record as well.
Yes. Walter was one of the really great ones. I mean, he really was, and he had it. And what was really neat, though, was the way he included everybody. I'll never forget when he first met my mother and father, and the way he treated them from that point on. It was like he had known my dad for 20 years. And every time he'd see my dad, he'd take my dad over. Hey, let's go get a beer, Gino. And he'd take my dad and buy him a beer. I mean, it was really cool. And he's also was really instrumental in me starting my coaching career. He had gone to Ed McCaskey to get me a coaching job with the Bears. And what happened was Mr. McCaskey brought me in on Walter's request or direction. And I sat down, had a great conversation. And the following year, after the season was over, I met with Dave Wanstead, and Coach Wanstead gave me my first chance, and it was an amazing thing, and the rest is history from that point.
That's pretty cool. He's the head coach of the Washington football team. He's Ron Rivera. I applaud you. I said this a week ago that you're the spokesperson. I don't think it's fair that you're the spokesperson, but you're the stand-up guy there, and you're taking it all upon yourself. Not many coaches are able to do this and probably willing to do it. So I wish you well, Ron. It's tough enough to win in the NFL, but you got some other hurdles to overcome, and we appreciate you joining us.
No, thanks, Dan. I appreciate being on.
That's Ron Rivera. I'd have business cards made up, head coach of the Washington football team. Why not? I don't even think Ron's the best athlete in his family. I think his wife's she was a former basketball player at Cal, so Coach might not be the best athlete in his own family. Yeah, Paulie.
But what you said there, Dan, is really right. Ron Rivera is becoming a spokesperson, and he's the right guy. He's a pretty well-respected lifer in football, and they haven't had a lot of spokespeople for this franchise that are well-liked nationally.
Yeah. His father was a Puerto Rican commissioned officer in the U.S. Army, so he grew up on military bases around the world. He was in Germany, Panama, D.C., Maryland, California, went to the University of California. All right, we'll take a break, and Play of the Day's up next.
Dan, Big Friday now. Today, tomorrow, and the next day on the National Day calendar, which you know I love to nerd out on. Today is National Tequila Day, Dan. Not necessarily margarita, but it's a great way to use tequila. Tomorrow is National Hot Fudge Sundae Day.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Toddler.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That one.
Hold
the other
on.
one, whatever.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hang on.
That is what I'm talking about.
That is what Todd is talking about. And then National Bagel Day is Sunday.
Wow, this is a great weekend.
Great
Bagel, I
weekend.
hope?
It's
That's
the trifecta.
Those look like New York bagels.
Okay.
That's
Tequila,
fantastic.
Hot Fudge Sundae, bagel. You have to pick one, and you have access to it for the rest of your life. And the other two, you can never, ever, in any fashion, have again.
What?
Dan, I'm going to start with...
I have to ask a very quick question, though. With the bagel, you could have whatever things you want
You
on
could
it.
adjust it however you like.
Like I'm saying, as far as cream cheese, jelly, peanut butter, you could put whatever you want
You
on
could
the bagel.
adjust it however you like. I'm going to start with Seton O'Connor.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry,
Why
buddy.
did you do that?
That Sunday looks so good.
So I Jeepers creepers. I'm gonna. If I don't choose that hot fudge sundae, does that mean I can't have ice cream ever again?
You could have ice cream, but you can add no decor to your ice cream ever again. You
no
can't have a
whipped cream or
blueberry
hot fudge?
sundae, a peanut butter sundae. The sundae genre is...
You get vanilla.
You could have other flavors of ice
Okay,
cream. You
all right.
cannot doctor.
So, but if I don't choose tequila, does that mean just tequila? Or does that mean like all spirits?
Just tequila.
Okay,
You could
I'm
have
just trying to get the
vodka.
parameters here.
Seems like we're narrowing it down nicely.
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm keeping the sundae.
I'm gonna go, and I'm also keeping the hot fudge sundae. If you told me I could never have a hot fudge sundae again, I would be depressed.
It would impact the rest of my day.
And I like tequila more than I used to.
Yeah.
But I could find other fill-ins.
It could be Fire Weeks Day today. Our cameraman, Weeksy. In fact, he brought it up. He said, hey, can we do Let's Fire Weeks today? If I get a hole in one, and I am obviously dialed in, somebody's throwing darts today. You're kind of getting a little too close there, Weeks. All right? Trying to, oh, I see what you're doing. Trying to get in my head, make me a little nervous. It worked. Okay.
I have a dark horse MVP candidate.
Paulie, I'm trying to fire Weeks.
Trying to help him. I was trying to help him.
Damn it. Well, lost my mojo.
I'm not going to do a hot tip.
My mojo is back. Okay, God, I got to rattle the saber today. Ooh, that is spicy. Dang. I gotta make Weeks think about this over the weekend. The week's end. It's getting close. But Weeks, if I get a hole in one, you gotta work the rest of the show. Because I can't have Tyler handle a camera. Good God, he can barely moderate the chat. Oh, what? Okay, here we go. This is Fire Weeks. Rattle the saber. Come on, rattle the saber. Oh. Damn it. Darn it. Weeks. Oh, my God.
Of the day.
Runner left side, got it!
This is the play of the day. Check this out.
It'll be a 1-1 to Stanton. And the pitch is swung on and hit high in the air to left center. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Way back in the left center field seats. A Stantonian home run.
John Sterling with a call, WFAN. Giancarlo Stanton, first home run of the season. Yankees win at 4-1 in a rain-shortened 5-inning affair in Washington. Play of the day brought to you by LegalZoom. Start online. They have a network of independent attorneys providing advice when you need it the most. And since LegalZoom isn't a law firm, you don't have to leave your home. Visit LegalZoom.com today. Now, watching the game last night and listening to John Sterling's call today, soon as it left the bat, the question wasn't, oh, it might be, it could be. It was, how far is that thing going? Because it was a bomb that was measured at about 460, 466, something like that. That was kind of scary. And I know that we always do this. Well, if they stay healthy. If Stanton stays healthy and Judge stays healthy and they're able to produce like they're expected to produce, then all of a sudden, you're going to start to see some there are going to be some pitching staffs that are going to be a little nervous, more nervous, because this is a team that is built like a softball team. It's top to bottom, yet you have everything you need. I like the Dodgers more. I think they're a little bit better, well-rounded team than the Yankees, but the Yankees can be certainly imposing with all of that power, and you saw that on display last night. We decided that we don't do hot takes here. We do saucy takes or warm takes. And McLovin had a saucy take just, earlier today. This is before the show started. And because we were watching the Lakers yesterday. And you're kind of watching and you're going, LeBron doesn't look explosive. He doesn't look like he's ready to take on the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals there. And McLovin then stated the following.
Well, I've done this before, if you recall. I think there's a national prank. It's like a April Fool's Day on McLovin. JaVale McGee is a very, very good center, and I don't understand why everybody doesn't see it like I do, because all he does is he gets out there and dunks a bunch of basketballs. Every time I see him play. Last night, he was unstoppable. Just dunking.
Okay, but then why don't they go to him more?
I don't know why the Lakers aren't playing him much this year. I know they went to small ball, and Anthony Davis played 5.
But what you're saying is you think JaVale McGee could be a star.
Well, I think he is he's
not a
paid
star.
He was on the Warriors. He won a ring, and
he's not a star. I could have been on the Warriors and won a ring.
I think he's a very effective player, but everyone considers him kind of like comic relief.
Well, he plays 17 minutes, and if they thought that much of him, they brought in Dwight Howard as well. So it's
yeah. I just think whenever he gets in there, he's good. You know what I'm talking about? Like he just alley-oop.
I love that he's active, but he's very limited.
Shot 64% this year.
On dunks, you just told me. So
right, which is great. That's
not very good.
That's back in the day. That's what you wanted your center to do. He's like an old school player.
If all you do is dunk and you only shoot 64%,
that is what you want your center to do. You don't remember when you didn't want your 7-footer coming 40 feet from the basket?
He's old school. I love that he's active.
He pulls the other center away so LeBron can drive the lane. That's what is so good about him. You can't leave him or he's just going to dunk the ball.
Well, he doesn't pull you away from the basket.
Right, but you can't help off JaVale McGee because he just rolls in for the alley-oop. I don't understand that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he dunks every time. By the way, Seth Curry was unbelievable last night.
Yeah.
Not Seth Curry. Yeah, Seth Curry. 6 for 6 from 3.
Yeah.
Can we overreact to preseason bubble basketball, or is this even double?
You are. I'm not going to. But even looking at LeBron, like LeBron didn't give me a vote of confidence where I went, oh, man, he looks great. It's bubble basketball. It's going to take a little while to ease into it. And certainly they have time on their side. LeBron's going to benefit the most from, this time off. Him and Kawhi, because Kawhi would be, managing his minutes, load management. And here's LeBron. I thought LeBron, and maybe he's just taking it easy. I thought he would look sharper, better. And maybe he's just saying, I got nothing to prove right now. This is just a game in the bubble, and it's a preseason game. But that was my takeaway. I've been watching the basketball. I've enjoyed it. It's fine. I'm good. As I said, I'm not going to get caught up in I'm not going to be critical of how the game looks or sounds. I just love that we have some sports backs. That's it. Paulie has a saucy take today as well. Are you ready to unveil this?
Yeah, I like long shot odds when I bet. I do some preseason bets here and there.
Mm-hmm.
My preseason NFL MVP bet. I bet you can't get it.
Dwayne Haskins.
No.
Okay.
Not that crazy.
Okay. By the way, the last 4 games of the season, Dwayne Haskins, quarterback rating 99, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Prior to that, not good. Quarterback rating 55, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was overmatched. He should not have played when he played early, and Jay Gruden, who was then the head coach, said that. But the last 4 games, you could see some progress, and it looked like the game slowed down a little bit. Yeah, McLovin?
Yeah, what was Ron Rivera just saying right there, by the way? That, I think, took people on Twitter by surprise.
Well, he's got a chance to compete. So when he said it, because when you're taking over a team, you look at your quarterback, and he admitted that. And I get the feeling if they didn't have Dwayne Haskins, they had Kyle Allen, Alex Smith, and somebody else, then he would have brought in Cam Newton. As he said, we didn't do that. We didn't stunt Cam Newton's growth in Carolina, and he doesn't want to do that to Dwayne Haskins. Although that comment that he just made about, hey, he gets to compete, might stunt his growth just a little bit there. Dwayne Haskins will get this season coming up. And if they don't see any elevation in his progress, then they'll look at drafting a quarterback again. But this was a Daniel Snyder draft pick. So the owner is going to hold on to Dwayne Haskins maybe a little bit longer because of a loyalty to Dwayne Haskins. Ron Rivera's he's walking into a whole lot of something, and in other ways, a whole lot of nothing, because I don't know how good that team is going to be. But if you're sort of committed to Haskins, that he gets to compete. Kyle Allen is probably a better quarterback than Dwayne Haskins is right now. Probably is. But maybe you've seen the ceiling for Kyle Allen, and you hope you haven't seen the ceiling for Dwayne Haskins. But that was a little bit surprising. All right, did you make your saucy pick?
My long shot MVP bet for this year that I'm going to put $100 on.
100. Okay.
Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions. First 8 games of the year last year, he threw 19 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Okay.
They were in every game. They almost beat Kansas City, Green Bay, Minnesota. They were in every single game. They lost a bunch of games at the buzzer, basically. And $100 gets you $6,600 on Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
At least $6,000 off a hundy.
Okay.
Nobody, and that also story-wise, a lot of upside for his story.
What's Deshaun Watson? His numbers.
Odds to win?
Yeah.
$100 would get you $1,400.
Yeah, I might put a buck on that.
Put it on there for you?
No, kind of want to gamble anymore.
A distance.
Yeah.
I'll put it down for you. And
No.
We'll split it.
No, because then I know it's there. I know. I don't want to gamble.
Carson Wentz will get you $2,500.
Well, that's what I thought. Carson Wentz might be a sneaky good pick there. Yeah, McLovin.
Apparently, Dak Prescott doesn't want to be a Cowboy, so I wouldn't rule out a redheaded quarterback in Dallas.
The odds on Andy Dalton starting a game in the first 10 weeks of the season.
If they do odds
with
on that.
no injury. Yeah. No injury to Dak Prescott.
Oh, then none.
Okay.
But the report came out. Don't want to take over. Dak unhappy.
Oh, boy. Joe Buck from Fox Sports will join us coming up. 1 hour in the books, 2 more to go. This is the Dan Patrick Show. Rap is based on sampling.
Yeah.
Down through the years.
Yeah.
And you said you bought back all your publishing rights.
Yeah.
But you were being sued by David Bowie and Queen.
Yeah.
Explain what was happening here. Why were you being sued for sampling their music?
And the music before me wasn't. Because before me, I think the most sold record was like Run DMC or some, which was huge for hip hop to go gold, because that's 500,000 units. But when you're selling 1 million records a day, like my record was, I mean, there just wasn't enough money for them to come after all those samples. And now, since my record was selling and making a lot of money, I mean, they opened up a whole building downtown New York just on sample clearances all of a sudden. So I was kind of that.
But you were sampling David Bowie, Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Under pressure.
Come on, of course.
Okay. But wait, I thought you tried to explain that. No, I was saying dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun.
I was being a
That was the court case.
jackass.
Oh.
You got to understand, I was jackass before Johnny Knoxville. I'm a clown. I love to I don't take myself too serious.
Okay.
I don't take anything too serious.
But it cost you, though.
Huh? Well, that was also in the middle of the lawsuit. And it actually worked out well, because the lawsuit was a lot of money. So it was it was better for me I actually learned about publishing because of the lawsuit, because that's where I ended up actually buying the song, because it was actually David Bowie and Queen.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have the actual rights to it. So I went to Brian May and I actually bought the song. And
the guitar player for Queen.
Yeah, but I actually own the song. So I bought it like Michael Jackson owns the Beatles. It was cheaper than the lawsuit. So Under Pressure, Ice Ice Baby, same difference. They're both my
So it's
songs.
yours now.
Yeah, it's been since the lawsuit.
Absolutely no idea how this
That's
works.
a big, kids are playing a
Move
lot
back,
of this.
throw it off there. I'll catch it.
Well, we still haven't figured this out.
Oh.
No, you got to be right on it, McLovin.
You got to
I
catch
thought
it.
you were about 6 feet
You
behind
catch
it.
it or you hit it?
So what does that count for? Is that a point?
I thought that you're like right.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to hit it or can you catch it?
I thought you were like this distance around it. You could be right.
I don't know if.
Do you have to slap
Wait,
at
is
it
this
or can you
social
catch it
distancing?
and throw it?
Oh, I thought you were like 6 feet away from you, right?
Where you can grab and throw the ball. Throw the
You
puck
can't.
down.
Oh, you can't just like.
So you can't do.
I was trying to angle towards Todd. Oh.
Yeah, that's a point.
I should be the host of Spike Ball.
I don't know how this works. Oh, there you go. Is that really what this is? That's impossible.
And you do it on the beach, right?
I've seen bros at the beach playing this.
That's impossible.
Seems like a little too much work for me.
Is this on the
We
Ocho?
have no idea what the rules are, do we?
Yeah, Todd.
Slam it home.
Dan, you're pretty good.
Football. No, that's out. Can't kick. I wonder if there's rules like that.
I've never seen
It's
Todd
all
run.
yours.
I've just seen him do this thing.
I got my ankles are tight.
You dressed for
Yeah.
This
I'm the host of
this
Spike
game
Ball.
obviously excites you. You're really into this, aren't you? Really into this.
It's a very exciting match.
I get very
Really.
Todd, you've lost some weight.
I have lost
Oh, he's lost a lot.
Wow.
How much, Todd?
Yeah.
8, I think.
My mom actually called me to say how good you looked the other
Thank
day.
you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I'm very excited to hear that.
Hey,
Easy,
settle down.
Todd.
We need to learn the rules.
Yeah. We should go on YouTube and find out the rules.
All right. Yeah, I might
Oh,
look
we
that
should
up.
bring in some bros who can help us
Right.
with this.
Look for guys with visors down by the beach.
Because spike ball is just.
Isn't this like a college
ball
sport where
rules.
like colleges have teams?
Oh, I don't know. The kids.
Like
play.
how do the teams?
I'm gonna go
form?
check on. Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Super happy to be a part of this organization for the rest of my career.
Mookie Betts' deal. More surprising, the timing of it or the length and the amount of money?
So I know the Dodgers to this point under Andrew Friedman had not given out a $100 million deal. It was a matter of which guy was best. First it was Call, but once it was not Call, then it was Mookie. And forget about the back end of the deal. You judge a deal to me on, are you buying the prime years of a player and how good is he right now? And that team is loaded, Dan, for now and for the foreseeable future.
Paul in Boston.
I hate this, and I want to see him get knocked off.
Bringing you the biggest guests and best interviews.
I mean, how could you not root for Mookie Betts? You want to root against the deal, but I don't know if you want to root against Mookie. Mookie didn't do anything wrong.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave, this is Dan Patrick.
Hour 2 on this Friday, Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. A Meat Friday at that. The Traegers fired up. Multiple Traegers fired up today. We got short ribs there. Going to take a little while, a couple hours. Should be ready in about an hour and a half. Go to rockauto.com for all the parts your car or truck will ever need. Rockauto.com. Family business founded by automotive engineers in 1999. 2 goals in mind. First, to give you direct access to all the parts information hidden in the computers and catalogs behind the parts store counter. And second, to make those parts affordable, they offer reliably low prices at rockauto.com. Choose the part, brands, prices, features you want anytime, 24/7. Rockauto.com even has parts you've been told dealer only or no longer available. And you don't waste time and money driving around, phoning, waiting in lines. They're delivered right to your home or office. Go to rockauto.com. Make sure you tell them we sent you. All the parts your car or truck will ever need at rockauto.com. Got a poll question, I believe. Got a stat of the day. All of that coming up. Major League Baseball announced yesterday that they would expand the playoff field to 16 teams this season. Here is the commissioner, Rob Manfred, explaining the playoff format in baseball.
It's going to be 8 teams from each league, the 3 division winners, the 3 second-place teams, and then the next 2 teams with the best record. There will be no first-round byes. It'll be just pure seeding, 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7. And the advantage to winning the division is all 3 games in each series. 3-game series, and they'll be played at home, all at the site of the club with the higher ranking.
All right. I didn't know that we needed to dress anything up, but the commissioner, desperate times, desperate measures. Is this something that they will adopt as they move forward? We rarely work backwards. It's usually 2 steps forward and at least 2 steps back or 1 step back. In this case, it might just be 2 steps forward. And, you're going to have 16 teams. Everybody else is adding more playoff teams, so Major League Baseball is going to do the same. Up until 1969, the regular season winners of the American League and National League met in the World Series. Then they expanded to 4 playoff teams until 1994. Then the wild card game came around. Since then, it keeps growing. We've gone from 8 to 10 to now 16. That's over half the league, so it's similar to what you have in the NBA and the NHL. And making the playoffs used to be a big deal. Teams earned those parties in the clubhouse, but things have changed, which means the regular season will be watered down a little bit. Although baseball, it's been watered down. This year with 60 regular season games, now you're going to have all of those playoff games. The possibility for all that playoff revenue just makes too much sense. So I get the feeling expanded playoffs are here to stay. The question is, are they going to be adding more teams here? But this is something that baseball has been looking at doing, and they finally got around to doing it and adding more playoff teams with this 60-game regular season schedule. McLovin, what is the poll question today?
Does 16 teams water down the MLB playoffs? 68% say yes.
This year it doesn't. In my opinion, this is different because this is 60 games. And all of these games are going to be important. Now, the fact that we're going to go from 10 to 16, so you're adding 6 more teams, will part of the regular season be watered down? I guess. But still, it's going to be your seeding, too, of where you are 1 through 8 in the American League and the National League. I'm fine with it. I told you, I'm not going to nitpick. I was thrilled to have baseball back, even the 5-inning rain-shortened game with the Yankees and the Nationals, the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw with his back, and he was scratched, and then they bring in Dustin May. Whew. Man, he was a force last night. Dodgers, when you lose Clayton Kershaw and then all of a sudden you bring in a 23-year-old, and he is throwing gas there last night. And it's not just that. Great pitchers, you have velocity. It's what you do with your curve, your slider, your changeup. And the variation there in speed, that's where you get something that's really scary. And you find that with the marquee pitchers, that ability to throw a fastball and a changeup and make it look the same. Scherzer usually does that extremely well. And they showed it last night. It was a pretty cool piece of TV that ESPN had, where they show you what his fastball is and I believe what his changeup is and the difference in when it arrives at the plate. But it's thrown in the same motion. And these hitters up there, and you're trying to guess a little bit. But last night, the Yankees got to him, including Giancarlo Stanton with the home run. What's the poll question, McLevin?
So 16 teams. My side question was, did you like the cardboard cutouts? And also, if you want to ask, what did you guys think of fan noise attempts or whatever? You okay with it?
I'm not going to criticize.
Cutouts a little cheesy, but okay?
I'm fine. I'm not going to be critical because it's easy to be critical. And I think we have to remember where we were 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And if this isn't, it's the new crazy is what I call it, not the new normal. We're not going to do this the following season. Most likely we won't be doing this. But now, if you want to try it, and it feels like this is an experimental moment for all of these leagues to try new things. The NBA trying new things in Orlando. Baseball certainly trying new things. I don't know what's going to happen with football. Can they try new things? College football, can they try new things? I saw where Barry Alvarez warns Wisconsin athletics at risk if football season is canceled. I think Barry, is he still heading up the athletic department? Is he athletic director at Wisconsin?
Yep.
Former head coach. So he's the athletic director. He's projecting revenue losses between $60 and $70 million if Wisconsin plays a conference-only 10-game season. The losses will amount to more than $100 million if the upcoming football season is canceled because of the coronavirus. You're also seeing the Pac-12 came out and said that we're going to do conference-only, 10-game schedule, and we're going to start a couple of weeks later. It's all fluid. It's a sliding scale here of being able to do this, when you can do this, the safeguards that are going to be put into play. There's a whole lot of money at stake here. And that's why these athletic directors, chancellors, presidents, commissioners are trying to ensure that their sport does not get canceled. Because it's one thing to delay it, and if you even want to push it back, postpone it to the spring, then you still want to get that revenue. I saw where Urban Meyer said that if football gets moved to the spring, these high draft picks, he would recommend that they don't play. I don't think Urban Meyer would have said that if he was still coaching at Ohio State, where, hey, if it moves back to the spring, then I'm going to tell my first-round talent or second-round talent to not show up. It's like A-Rod saying, hey, if I'm the owner of the Mets, there's going to be a salary cap. I don't think he would have said that when he was playing, when he was stealing $300 million from Major League Baseball teams, but maybe. I also saw a story here, and I didn't realize it was a story, but I saw the headline. J.R. Smith only packed a week's worth of underwear for the NBA bubble. All right, you got me. I'm going to click on it. So J.R. Smith, who's with the Lakers, got signed late. He says, honestly, I packed like 7 pairs of underwear because I figured I'd be good for once a day. But then I ain't calculate all the showers in between everything that I be doing. So I be running through them in like 2-3 days. We got a good laundry system now. Can somebody help out J.R. Smith, please? Just help him out. Like the meals, he's got it tough, man. I don't know how he's able to do this, but I wish him. I'm going to pray for him. Yeah, Paul.
I actually took the other side. It's kind of shoddy journalism. J.R. Smith only packed a week's worth of underwear. Is he supposed to pack like 70 pair in case they go to the title? Right? 7 seems fair to bring on a road trip.
I'm totally down with JR. I always run out of underwear because when you're athletic like me and JR, you sweat through, you got to do 2 or 3 a day. So that's half your underwear supply in one day. That's a lot of reliance on the laundry, which he says is good.
Yeah, but if it came from somebody other than J.R. Smith, then I might be a little more lenient. But this is a guy who's complained since he got there, and the food, and now he didn't pack enough underwear. He's going in with the Lakers, who are probably going to be there for 3 months. I think if you do the calculations, you'd probably say, all right, I'm going to pack twice as much. That seems logical. If you're going to be there for 3 months, that might be logical. And it's not like you can go out to Target and have somebody buy you underwear. And I don't think you could get any shipments either, can you? I don't know if, can his wife send him underwear to make sure that he's going to be okay there in the bubble? Yeah, McLevin.
Can he send a flunky to like a team assistant?
No, nobody's allowed to go out. No.
Can someone from like, what do you call it, Tommy John just drop off a box in front of the hotel and peel out?
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you could get mail. Can you get mail in the bubble?
Yeah, I'm sure you can get Amazon
Okay,
and stuff.
let's say somehow the Dan Patrick Show were invited to cover the NBA playoffs, and we knew we were going to be down there for 2 months. In honesty, how many pair of underwear would you bring down there if you knew you were going to be there for 2 months? And you had laundry service.
But this is 3 months.
Okay, 3 months. How many pair would you bring? And how many pair do you own?
Well, I have my lingerie. I have my special.
I don't own more than
boxers.
12.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, I'd probably go 2 weeks. That seems like a fair number.
I think 10 to 14 sounds about right for 3 months.
In case you can't do a load of laundry that week.
But somebody is going to do the laundry for you, I'm guessing. So you could have 7 in the wash, and then you're still good with the others. Oh, I know who's dying to get in on this. Hey, yeah.
You know what? You pack 5-10 pairs of underwear, and the rest of the way you're extra comfortable.
Yeah, but you don't wear underwear.
That's what I'm saying. You have a few backups, and you have enough to get by. But you could also, the commando thing is an option. As
Thank
long
you,
as
Todd.
hopefully no one pulls your shorts down and does anything.
Once again, what did I say today?
Keep it brief.
Yes.
Like brief.
Brief.
Oh, is that what you're doing? Keep it brief.
Yes, Seton.
You have to be able to get stuff delivered there, though. I mean, that's...
Yeah, so have his wife send him some underwear.
By the way, I don't think that going commando when you're athletic is an option.
Not when you're playing basketball.
Correct.
No, it's not.
But I'm pretty sure that they have to be allowed to get deliveries there. So, like, just have more underwear sent to your room.
Yeah. It's J.R. Smith. That's the problem I have. As Todd says, hey, J.R. knows the score. Oh, that's right. He does it.
He does not.
No, he does not. Thank you, Todd. Chris in New York joins us on the program. Good morning, Chris. We'll talk to Joe Buck coming up in about 10 minutes from now. Hi, Chris.
Hi there. What up, DP? Dan Epps, 5'8", 171. And I have a stat of the day.
Whoa,
for you
okay.
folks.
Do you want some music?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Take your pick on the music. I don't care. The New York Mets have the best winning percentage on opening day. After starting 0-8, they've gone 38-12 since for a 655 overall winning percentage.
That's the stat of the day from Chris in New York, who didn't take it all the way up to the post, so let me help him a little bit. By the way, if every preseason series goes the distance in baseball's 16-team format, so best of 3 to start out, then best of 5, then best of 7, and then the World Series best of 7, there would be 65 postseason games this year. And as Jason Stark points out, there were a total of 66 postseason games in the entire decade of the 1960s. But that's because we didn't have as many playoff rounds. There'd be a lot of playoff baseball this year. Dustin in Arkansas joins us on the program. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, Mr. Patrick. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
5'11", 205. I'm an old school baseball fan, and the thing I'm most excited about this year is this might be the last time we ever get to see a World Series where the two teams did not meet in the regular season. I'm really excited about that idea.
Okay. Thank you, Dustin. Yeah, the whole interleague play, the fact the Yankees and Dodgers don't face one another, I'm fine with all of this. I am. I have no complaints. Cardboard cutouts, odd sounds, the public address announcer, a runner on second base to start extra innings. I'm good with all of this. My bar is really low. I just want to have something that is real in front of me when I'm watching it. But that being said, some of those calls in the Yankees game last night, is that Angel Hernandez who was behind the plate? Yes, Todd.
The cardboard cutouts, I think McLovin was kind of alluding to it. I think it's kind of corny. If they're raising money for charities, which I know at least some teams are, it's going to food banks and things like that, that's fantastic. But if there's any team making money off the cheese ball fatheads or whatever you want to call those, I think it's silly.
What'd you call yourself?
Fathead?
A cheese ball fathead?
It's stupid.
Let's say the Broncos can't play football with fans in the stands.
I don't want to see like the heads of the season ticket holders that would normally be sitting
for
there.
$50, you can put your son in the stands at a Broncos
game. How much
game
exposure is he
year.
getting? Where is that exactly? Is he getting on regularly? They're
You
gonna
might
see
get
him?
a cutaway on national
You
TV.
may, but it's going to be a sea of people, and you probably won't see him at all. Again, the caveat being, if you're raising money, if they're doing it for a good cause, that's great. But if they're making money off of it, it's bad. It's silly.
You are Mr. Philanthropy. You are. When I think of philanthropy, I think of you.
I'm all for raising money for charity.
You're
for that.
one of the great ones of all time.
If not, get rid of those fatheads.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, Ethan, who is back, and the sports world is a better place, he sent me a note. The Nationals, the first defending World Series champion in baseball history, whose top 4 home run hitters from the previous season were not in the opening day lineup. You had Anthony Rendon, who was playing for the Angels, Juan Soto, who tested positive, Matt Adams, Brian Dozier, all hit at least 20 home runs last season. Rendon, Adams, and Dozier with new teams. Soto is on the injury list. It was just, when you start to think about the day yesterday, in the morning, we found out that Seattle, and people probably found out that, Seattle has a hockey team? Yes, and they're going to announce the new nickname. And they did, the Krakens. I'll spare you the pain of hearing what Todd was doing with his, if you missed it, you're lucky. He gave us some
He's in Kraken at the concession stand. I'll leave it at that. That's nice.
Some play on words there with the logo Kraken for Seattle. Then Washington came out and said that they're going to call themselves the Washington Football Team. And then I realized after we had their head coach Ron Rivera on last hour, it's not only 1 year, this could be a 2-year process for Washington to be. Now, it shouldn't take you 2 years to come up with this. And I'm going to guess that owner is probably saying, how long can we drag this out for? Because I'm going to stick it to somebody here. And then Ron Rivera said, well, it's going to take a year, maybe a year and a half. And I went, I don't think so. But if that's what Daniel Snyder's telling you, you're just the coach there. Yeah, Paulie?
Dan, last hour you said you had a source, and I trust you, that said it takes a little while to change a logo from a team and all like that. But deep, deep down, I believe that Daniel Snyder said, look, I didn't want to change this name for years and years and years. Every year I was able to dodge this, and this year I'm not able to dodge it. But you know what? I could put it on hold for another year. I could get another year where they didn't tell me what to do. And I believe that's as much part of this as any logistics. When you're a billionaire, you can get anything you want done quickly if you write the big enough check.
Well, they got to get the trademark. They have to have a nickname first before they put anything into play.
They could announce it without bringing out logos and uniforms and all that stuff if they chose to.
You want to roll this out.
Yeah.
In fairness to Daniel Snyder, I'm told it's at least an 8-month process to get all of this. They have to make sure they got the trademark for the nickname. But if it goes over a year, then yeah, this is Daniel Snyder dragging it out. And, Ron Rivera said that his wife, they held a yard sale when he left Carolina and sold all of his Carolina Panther gear. Why doesn't Washington do that with all their Redskins gear? Raise some money. Do something positive for a change. Daniel Snyder, I said this from the beginning. How does he screw it up? Right? And he's going to. Probably already has. But do something positive with this. You're going to get all of that new revenue stream. Could be the best of both worlds there for him. Joe Buck set to join us. Your phone calls as well are welcome. We'll also talk to George Brett. Are we sure it was on this day when he had the pine tar?
I'm going to go all in, put all my chips on the table. I know I've made several mistakes with the scoreboard on this day in history.
Now, keep in mind, the game started on this date. It wasn't completed on
don't
this
even.
date. Okay.
The pine tar incident, I'm very hopeful, was in fact 37 years ago.
37 years ago. And Ethan, our stats guy, graduated from Harvard. He sent me an unbelievable stat about George Brett after the pine tar game. So I'll have that for you coming up. But that's Ethan just doing what Ethan does.
That's
McLovin.
hot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Real timely.
20 after the hour. Joe Buck will join us after this on the Dan Patrick Show. Oh, when's the last time you got a great night's sleep? I did last night. I mean, that's why I'm in a good mood to put up with Todd's, nonsense here. Yeah, Todd.
I actually had a terrible night's sleep. Not that you asked, but someone egged our house, and it's not even Halloween. What is that about? We live in a nice suburban town in Connecticut, and we heard a bang at 11 o'clock at night outside my daughter's window, and they hit the side house, and they hit the front of the house. It wasn't just one egg. Someone threw several eggs, some kind of drive-by thing.
Yeah, and my aim is not that good. My arm, my shoulder hurts, and I can't get that much on it.
Who does that on 11 o'clock at night on July 23rd? Is that some top holiday?
Dan, I don't want to speculate, but he's got a 17-year-old son. Maybe he spurned someone, or maybe there's some type of triangle in the public school system, and he burned the wrong person.
It was very traumatizing.
Who would egg Fritzy's house?
I got a great night's sleep. Discover proven quality sleep for your health and well-being with the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Right now, for a limited time, save up to $900 on select smart beds only at Sleep Number stores or visit sleepnumber.com/Patrick.
We go to part 2 of the National Day calendar. Today is National Tequila Day. Tomorrow, National Hot Fudge Sundae Day. Sunday, National Bagel Day.
The dramatic
You could
conclusion.
pick one to have in your kitchen.
I would have thought that the Hot Fudge Sundae would have been on Sunday, bagel on Saturday.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
But I think it's
spelled differently, though, Todd.
Oh, yeah, because Sunday.
Okay.
Dan, you can only have one for the rest of your life, and the other two you can never have again.
I can do without the Hot Fudge Sundae. Lox and bagels, cream cheese is really, really.
Yeah, but you tell me you don't look at that picture and see carbs just jumping off the screen. That's a lot.
What do you see right there?
Well, if you're going to take all those carbs in, you might as well have the Hot Fudge Sundae.
But your first team.
Why would you take all those carbs and not have the Hot Fudge Sundae?
I'm going to go upper left.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going tequila.
Take it home.
Yeah.
Andrew.
Well, I mean, I don't drink, but even if you put like a manly version of tequila and not a margarita, then I might have considered that.
Splash of tequila.
Yeah, like it's 2020. I mean, nobody eats bagels like that. Like those look like famous H&M bagels.
Sure.
Right?
New York bagels.
Yeah.
I like what I
Save it, Todd.
If you're gonna take all that sugar and carbs into your body, then you have to go Hot Fudge Sundae. I'll go Hot Fudge.
Good
Sundae.
reason.
All right, Andrew.
Good reason.
Yeah. Welcome to the team.
Well, good to have you back. Toddler, briefly.
As wonderful as the Hot Fudge Sundae looks, bagel, and assuming that's a New York bagel, I can have any bagel I want, a bagel and cream cheese. I've got to take the bagel.
That's an upset right there.
That's a shocker.
It is.
I'm going to take the bagel over the Hot Fudge Sundae.
Now that means when you go out to have ice cream with your family,
Can't
or
do
you have
whipped
it at
cream or
home,
hot fudge or
you
any of
could
that stuff.
just have a bowl of the flavor of ice cream with no accoutrement.
I like ice cream. I don't love ice cream. I really like bagels.
Wait, I don't understand. When the Hot Fudge Sundae came on, you said that's what I'm talking about.
until I saw what was going on over there. To have any kind of New York bagel with especially Tempty cream cheese, which I like over Philadelphia cream cheese, Tempty cream chease with a New York bagel. I'm going to
When
take
you
that
have
over
a
Hot
bagel
Fudge
at
Sundae.
home, do you make it yourself?
Like, do I make the bagel with a bread
No,
maker?
not from scratch.
Oh yeah,
but
no,
do you
yeah.
toast it and put-
I'll cut it in half, and I may lose a finger or two. But I also have that bagel, like that guillotine bagel. You could
The
that
bagel
cuts
guillotine,
the bagel,
yeah.
And then sometimes I'll toast it. But New York bagels, I don't toast because they're nice and soft and fresh, and it ruins it to toast it.
You got a Friday Fritzy going on here, just to
I
let you know.
I know.
Got
Four guests, Friday Fritzy.
Friday, Meat Friday.
You did ask me to be brief, and I wasn't. Sorry about that. But yeah, bagels.
Be brief.
Bagels and cream cheese. That one in the middle.
John Smoltz is a Hall of Famer, great career, has a World Series ring. He's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But if John Smoltz could have one of the two, he could be a 2-time World Series MVP, 2 rings, and he's the MVP of both, but not be in the Hall of Fame, or the career he had where he has 1 World Series ring. He was not. I think it was Glavine was the MVP, and he is in the Hall of Fame.
I would take the Hall of Fame career, the 1 World Series title. Let's bring in John Smoltz, the Major League Baseball Network analyst. Right out of the gate, right off the plane, John, there's your question. How do you answer?
Yeah, that would be the Hall of Fame. If you'd have thrown about 4 rings in there, that'd have been more enticing. But 1 more ring is not enough to change the course of destiny.
How about this? 3-time World Series champ, 2-time World Series MVP, but no Hall of Fame, or your career that got you into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, now you're starting to. 3-time World Series champs sounds really, really good, and I could live with not going into the Hall of Fame when you start talking about 3 rings, 4 rings, stuff like that. That's what we should have had anyways. So glad you brought it up that we don't, and I only have 1.
That's all I wanted to talk to you about, John. Thanks. Tyler, the moderator, moderating Chat Row, said that some people had some headlines of sorts for Fritzy. Fritzy's house got egg last night. People said, are you going to do mock egg lines? And also, it's a yoke-off, too.
See, I don't appreciate that. That was a traumatic
This is
late-night bad experience that we had with people throwing eggs at our house. Who would expect that on July 23rd? Or any date other than Halloween, and even then you shouldn't be doing that.
He's Joe Buck, lead play-by-play voice for Fox Sports, NFL, baseball, and he's got a game this Saturday. He's got the Yankees and the Nationals. Joe, kind enough to join us. What kind of hijinks did you get into when you were growing up?
I never egged anybody. I felt like that would come back on us and bring shame upon my father. So I didn't think that was a good thing to do. I will say that you might want to investigate me in this whole caper because for some reason, Todd keeps texting my wife. I don't know if you know that, but Todd cannot, for some reason, differentiate my number from my wife's number. And so periodically, my wife will go, that guy's texting me. Who is this guy? I don't want to pop his bubble.
Do you think it's an accident, Joe? A coincidence?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
it's not.
I think he's fallen in love with her from Celebrity Watch Party and her time at ESPN. And now I finally took matters into my own hands and egged his house.
Todd, you want to respond?
It's very possible that Joe may have egged my house because I have both numbers stored under Joe's name, and I guess when I'm sending it, it's going to the wrong place. And I've done this like several times now. You think I would have gotten it figured out?
Joe's been married for a while.
I know.
But I don't get it. It's not that hard. It's not. Do you do this to your other guests, spouses?
Very rarely.
Did you have fans show up at your house to meet your dad growing up?
Yeah, but the funny thing was my dad was so open with that wherever we were, if we were at dinner and we hadn't seen him in 2 weeks, and it's like, oh, Dad's home, we're all going to dinner. And then we'd sit down at this Italian restaurant every time, Canetto's in St. Louis, and somebody would come up to the table and he would pull out a chair and go, sit on down. Tell me about your life. And then he got like Johnny from Paducah, Kentucky going, well, I grew up in the 50s. And yeah, so they didn't need to come to our house is my point. At the grocery store, at restaurants, it didn't matter. Everybody was his friend.
I'm wondering what you took away from the broadcast last night. Are you watching as a broadcaster or can you just watch as a fan?
No, I'm watching these days as a broadcaster. I don't typically do that, but I think when I have tomorrow night on the horizon and I'm going to be in a studio in Denver, Smoltz is going to be in a studio in Jersey at MLB. Our producer, Pete Macheska, is going to be in LA. So we're going to be all spread out. I watched the game last night and Matt and Alex were at least together in the studio. but we're spread out all over the place, and John is doing a bunch of games, so that's why he's at MLB. So in order to bring us together, it would have been ridiculous. So we're going to do a dry run today. We're going to see how it all works communication wise, and then we'll go do it. But I was practicing last night doing the game off the television, and it's a little different seeing the ball come kind of at you instead of watching the ball go away, which is where we see it and sit during a regular game.
But also, when you're going to call this game, and we know that it's kind of crazy times here, but how long do you think you're doing games before you're not really acknowledging the lack of ambiance there at a baseball game?
Yeah, I kind of feel, and maybe I'm wrong, I think on it, but I really don't want to beat that drum too much tomorrow. I mean, at some point, I think this becomes a nice distraction and something to theoretically bring people together, and just constantly reminding everybody of everything that we've all been through in our own ways over the last 4 months. I think people are tuning into a game to get away from that. So nobody cares that John and I are not together. Nobody cares. I think they just want to watch the game. And it's almost like, announcer guy, okay, enough, shut up. Just let me watch Aaron Judge try to get a hit off Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, the feeling I got is, give me the tutorial. If you want to give me a once around, a drive-by, and just say, this is the setup, this is how it looks, and then that's it. After, I just wanted to hear the game. I didn't want to hear, hey, this is weird for us to call the game, or, hey, the sound or the cardboard cutouts. We want to get away. We want this. We need this. And the less I think you dwell on it, I think is the better approach, Joe. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the virtual fan thing, and obviously everybody's going to weigh in, and some will like it, or most won't care because it just looks like a game. The ones that are mad and stomping their feet will go on social media and stomp their feet. But I think trying to make it look and sound, this is entertainment too, look and sound as normal and as it's always been is kind of our job. So if we're constantly going, hey, all these people are fake, or hey, we're coming back from every break and we see cardboard, still shots and moving shots of cardboard cutouts, I think that defeats the purpose. That's why people are watching the ball game, in my opinion. And I could be wrong.
What about the crowd noise? Are you pumping in crowd noise, and to what extent?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a work in progress. They're doing it in these stadiums, and so typically our ambient mics just pick up what's in the stadium. We're not adding anything. So I think if that's sufficient, then we'll go with that. But I was talking to our producer, and whoever these stadiums employ to do these crowd noise tracks, I'm sure they don't care what it sounds like on TV or on Fox or whatever, or if they do, how good are they in each stadium? So if it's not right and it seems weird, I think it's up to us to try to make it sound right and normal. It can't be a pop-up and everybody, you're playing a reaction like people are doing the wave and standing and screaming. It's a pop-up.
What do you think of extended playoffs here and that format for baseball?
To me, this was always the opportunity to have the test kit out there and see what works and what doesn't. I'm excited about a 60-game season. I know Smoltz is, just kind of the immediacy of it. And I really wanted to see even more. If you're ever going to bring a pitch clock in and see how that goes, they're doing the runner at second base in extra innings, which I like. Let's get it going. Let's get a conclusion to this thing. And the same for the playoffs. If all of a sudden they have this seeding and people seem to latch onto it, I just think 2020 is its own thing. And going back to the drawing board next off season, they've got a new collective bargaining agreement to put together. And I think there's a lot of things that are potentially out there, like the universal DH. Some people like it, some people don't. I like the two different styles of baseball, but throw it against the wall in 2020, see what sticks, and then move on in the future.
Got anything cool in the office there? Is that your office?
No, I'm in a Airbnb in Denver, Colorado. I'm scared to open drawers in an Airbnb. I don't want to know what's in there. I don't know whose hair is hanging out on the floor right now. It's certainly not mine. I do not have long black hair. I don't know if you know that, but there's a pile of long black hair in the corner of my room, and it's whoever was here last.
Boy, maybe Troy Polamalu was there.
It does smell like Head and Shoulders in here.
You're working with Michelob Ultra, and you launched the hashtag Ultra Buck Calls. And I know that you had some fun with this, and then that people would send videos, and then you would do play-by-play, and then all of a sudden people sent you porn, and then said do play-by-play.
Then I got an offer. To change directions entirely in my career and actually do live play-by-play for the visually impaired. That was in the contract for webcam porn. I don't know if you call it a video, just webcam porn. So yeah, I thought about it, and then I asked my mom, and she's like, either pick your relationship with me or go ahead and do that. And I picked my relationship with my mom.
And your dad never got that offer, I'm guessing.
I don't think he did, but I think a grovelly voice, let's take a look and see what's happening in bedroom number 4.
I don't know. I think the call, I don't believe what I just saw. It's going to be
Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Explain this contest you're doing with Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, it's kind of a take on what we did at the beginning of the pandemic in this shelter in place, which last time I checked had over 10 million views, and it was just play-by-play of people doing stuff around the house. Now that could be, cooking chicken wings on a barbecue grill. That could be playing with the dog. That could be some ridiculous shot. That could be people on a lake messing around and doing some trick surfing or whatever. I've seen it all. And I put my play-by-play to it. And on August 1st, the contest ends, and then we'll put 4 of them back on the internet that makes people famous and something they're showing their friends and family for the rest of time.
But so you have all the videos there. You've already done them, and then
I've done some. I'm going to do more, I think, Monday. So it's the contest is open till August 1st, but I've seen a lot of them. The bottom line is when people clear out their living room and make a makeshift hoop out of an old Adidas box and play 2-on-2 hoops, that's fun. And I'm happy to do play-by-play to that. People are creative, as you know. We both know from what they send in on social media or whatever. So this is just tapping into that.
What's your NFL schedule? What have you been told?
So far, I think that obviously the preseason game that we had scheduled is gone, but we open up with Tampa Bay and Tom Brady at Drew Brees and the Saints the first weekend on a Sunday, and it's a lot of Brady early and it's a lot of Cowboys late, and I'm hoping like crazy that we're there at the stadiums doing these games, but I don't know anything more than any fan does, and I think until we get around to it and these guys open camp and we see how it goes with this, it's all speculation. But I haven't heard anything to tell me I'm not going to be there on the first weekend of the season.
I'm wondering if we have fans at a baseball game before we have fans at a football game. Like, do you see that NASCAR tested it out at Bristol Motor Speedway and they were able to get 20,000 in there? But could you see baseball as a possibility, or the fact that these football stadiums are a lot of these have a little bit more room there for these fans?
Yeah, I think it's all on the board. I would not be surprised if the flattening of the curve happens. It certainly doesn't seem, because of these outbreaks in these hot cities that we keep hearing about, and states really. If this is really in the near future, I think kind of leaving it where it is right now and let everybody take a breath and see where this goes is the best idea. But yeah, I could see before the end of the season, their fans socially distance in the ballparks. Hopefully the experience is so unbelievable on TV that it's we don't have to worry about that.
It's great to talk to you. Hope the kids are good there, Joe, and
yes.
everybody's healthy. So
yeah, the old 6 a.m. wake-up call for the 51-year-old dad of 2-year-old twin boys.
what were you thinking?
Yes, sir.
What were you thinking?
My wife is so tired of me saying, I've already done this, or I'm too old for this. I'm like Riggs or Murtaugh, whichever one said that. I'm getting too old for this. I am too old for this, but it's awesome. It's great. But the mornings are really hard for me.
And it's always there's an ability to act like you don't hear them crying that you learn as a parent. But my wife would just nudge me like it does. I heard if my son or daughters were crying, it wasn't one of those. What? I didn't hear that. I just get the nudge. Hey, you go get them. It'd be 2 a.m.
Right.
So I don't know if you've mastered that or your wife can see right through that.
No, she sees her, but she sleeps through everything. She slept through me leaving in the middle of the night to go egg Todd's house last night. Didn't even know that I left. But I wake up at everything. If I hear one thing, I'm wide awake. So she knows I hear it.
Yeah. Todd, anything else you want to say to Joe? Just to kind of maybe
anything you want me to tell Michelle?
Yeah.
Todd?
Say hi to Michelle. I sincerely apologize that the way I stored the numbers when I'm trying to contact you, either she's getting it or you're both getting it, but it's
I don't get any of these. She just flips them over to me.
For the
screenshots.
For the record, it was an innocent mistake, and I hope we're still pals and there's nothing untoward about
Do you think I care? Do you think I really care, Todd?
I don't.
Do you
think
know
you
me
do.
well enough?
Your personality is such that
Todd,
you're fine
you
with
sound guilty, man.
Well, if you check the text, they're all about Joe. We'd like to have you on Thursday. I don't know what's.
Well, no, I will say this, Joe. If he knew it was your wife, then I would have worried because then the messages would have been different.
Well, wasn't she once a Broncos cheerleader? Yeah, I'm a big Denver Broncos fan, so I guess.
Well, there you go.
If you want to connect the dots, I don't want to,
Todd,
incriminate myself.
You just did.
I am a big Broncos fan. I'll leave it at that.
Cut Todd's mic off. God.
Yeah. I will.
Just pass.
We still have the chaps. We still have the chaps. That's all I'm going to say, Todd.
Wow. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's Joe Buck. Nationals, Yankees, Saturday night at 7 Eastern on Fox. You can live off that little Bronco cheerleader chaps thing, Todd.
That was fabulous.
Look at the smile on your face. Leave Joe Buck alone.
He's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah, he needs to with you. All right, we'll take a break. Let's see. Coming up top of the hour, we'll talk to George Brett. Fritzy tells me it was 37 years ago today that the Pine Tar game took
July
place at Yankee Stadium.
1983.
I'm sure George is not tired of talking about that. Boy, do you think he goes a day without somebody bringing up the Pine Tar game?
But I read a quote saying that when that happened, he much preferred to be the Pine Tar guy than the hemorrhoid guy.
Yeah, I know. He hears them both. How about we have him on and we don't bring up the Pine Tar game?
That would be funny. As we get to the end of the interview, he's wondering why we didn't bring that up.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. Back after this.
Are we ready for Will?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. What's he waiting for? Trumpets here or something?
Oh, wow. Is it time to go?
Yes.
Did you wear your bike shorts?
You did not tell me you were wearing them.
Are they in your locker?
I did say to Will.
When's our next break? Dan, you got to get into the bike shorts.
Look at you. Look how
back row. I don't shake the back rows anymore.
Suck it, back row.
Yeah. Look at the room. This is the first time I've been to New York. Look how roomy it is. Wow.
I have to say.
Yeah.
I did say I was going to wear my bike shorts.
You emailed me and you said I'll wear my bike shorts if you wear yours.
I know. But you didn't respond to that.
I just thought it was a given.
You look good. You look really in shape.
Thank you.
Maybe too good. Like
I heard you saying.
Have you lost your funny sometimes when you get a little thinner and better shape?
Don't ask Jonah that.
I know.
I was listening that day.
That was not good.
I was listening that day. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a legit question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I just want to know from one actor, one comedian to another.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill was on, and he lost all of that weight. And I said, I think, do people look at you differently? You're not as funny to some people because you look better.
Hypothetically, right. Hypothetically speaking. And it really...
He didn't handle it well.
It went down. It took a turn.
Yes, it did.
It took a turn.
Quickly.
And then it ended. He had to leave, right?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
That he hadn't been back since there, Will. So I'll choose my words carefully. How much weight did you drop?
I think I've dropped like 15.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went on the
15.
biking trip.
Went on the biking trip.
You sent the picture of you from behind with your bike shorts on.
You guys...
It's better from the rear, I think. Is that what it was?
It's better from the back.
Better from the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you sent some pictures there. And I said, you look like you purposely went out to lose some weight here.
I was legitimately training.
But this isn't for a movie role.
No.
It's just for life.
This is just 5 guys going on a trip.
Now, do you have to put on weight to go back into movies?
I've got, now I've got to gain, the 15 plus an extra 15.
For?
What I call an additional funny 15.
Oh, yeah, this is killer 15.
Yeah, killer 15. So.
But then you're around Mark Wahlberg in this movie.
That's right. So when you're doing with press with Mark, because Mark has got, everything's fitted.
Yeah, very tight.
Very tight. Which, have you noticed that all men's clothes are now fitted? There's not the regular cut anymore. Yeah. Really bums me out. Speaking of biking wear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As you got your
it's
tight
all
shorts
super
on.
fitted.
No, I like that.
This was actually a normal cut.
But Wahlberg's jacked.
Wahlberg's typically jacked.
Did you feel like you needed to sort of be jacked?
When we started doing press, I thought I better bring my A game because we're often sitting next to each other. But during the filming of the movie, no, I don't have to worry about being jacked at all.
You have Mel Gibson and John Lithgow.
I just like saying being jacked. Yeah.
So does Fritzy.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
No comment?
Not
Okay.
necessary.
What's up, everybody? Marvin Prince here. Thank you, everyone, for all the interaction via email. I got one from Jeff in South Carolina. He said, how about at the beginning of each period, everyone in the arena gets real quiet and cracks with a K, opens a beer in unison. Imagine that sound. I'm not even going to go there with what I think. We got one from my man Luke in Alabama. J.R. Smith has no use for undergarments. We saw that after the Cleveland championship. Very true. We got a stat of the day. Max Scherzer, and Garrett Cole are the first set of opposite starters to both throw complete games on opening day since Mark Langston and Bill Wegman in 1993. Last year, Matt Scherzer struck out 12 batters in an opening day loss to the Mets. Last night, he struck out 11 in an opening day loss to the Yankees. He's the first pitcher in MLB history with multiple 10-plus strikeouts in opening day losses. Thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend. Mario, clean this up.
Todd, you can't do this. You shouldn't do this.
That's not for public consumption.
Okay. Todd sent me a picture of
Oh, I can't believe it.
Joe's wife when she was a Bronco cheerleader. Joe Buck's wife. Yeah. She's seems like she's a really spirited person.
She's a
for the
very
thing.
lovely
Yes,
woman,
she
and I
is.
apologize that I've been harassing her trying to get Joe on the show and
Yeah.
her getting those text messages.
All right. Thank you, Todd.
Did you change your phone so you stopped doing
I
that?
have.
You have.
And they have different, there's different area codes, so that shouldn't happen again.
Did you delete her number?
I did not delete her
You
number.
have to
but I-
delete. Do it now.
just to make sure that.
Just do it now. McLovin, just make sure he deletes her number, okay? Alex Rodriguez got roughed up last night. He was doing the game, and that was on ESPN. He's doing Yankees and the Nationals. And I had some things to say. Alex Rodriguez tells us the biggest sleeper this year, the Houston Astros, who have the third best odds to win the World Series. Not exactly in the sleeper category. Alex Rodriguez interviewing the commissioner. He said, Commissioner Manfred, I want to ask you about the leadership efforts to put together all this protocol between the players and the teams. And I think he tells him what a great job that he did on this. Is that right, McLeod?
Yeah, sorry, it got cut off. Great job.
Yeah.
And Manfred's response is,
he said, well, thank you. Yeah. Not a question in there. But then A-Rod questioning the commissioner during the Yankees-Nationals game. Did he get in a opportunity to mention that he wanted to be an owner in that?
No, he just praised him the whole time. That was the main contention, by the way, in all these tweets is how can A-Rod talk about MLB issues when he wants to buy a team? He can't criticize the league.
Okay, so it says A-Rod is questioning the commissioner during the Yankees-Nats game. Given that A-Rod's trying to get in on MLB ownership, Manfred has a meaningful role in that, would seem to raise some issues that drove ESPN to have A-Rod not call Mets games this year. Another one, Alex Rodriguez waxing philosophically about small ball is far too high a price to pay for playing baseball during a pandemic.
Not a small ball guy.
And then Alex says, real baseball is finally being played after 265 days. So let me tell you about this at bat I had back in 2002 for the next 7 minutes. Okay, so they're taking a shot.
Did he praise Daniel Snyder at all on the way out in the eighth inning?
Yeah, ESPN's got a... I know they like shiny objects, and you want to put somebody in there, but, A-Rod's a businessman. You need a baseball person in there, not a business person. You got to... I don't know why A-Rod's become the face of baseball. No? Yeah, McLevin.
But seriously, conflict of interest if he's trying to buy a team.
Yes, I wouldn't.
Can he
have
be
him,
the color guy?
I
for
wouldn't
a
have him
while?
in there. I wouldn't have him in there. That's all. He has to pick. I mean, choose what you want to be. You want to be a businessman, be a businessman. But you can't be sort of in baseball or, you're going to be a consultant to the Yankees or the Mets, and then you want to buy the Mets and can't do it. Just, it doesn't look good for ESPN to have him in that role. John Smoltz just wants to play golf, and he's the Fox analyst. So there's no agenda, no hidden agenda. Jessica Mendoza, when she was in the booth, and then she was part of the Mets, and you can't have this. There are other talents out there to bring in. And A-Rod, I would just say to A-Rod, decide what you want. You want to be an analyst, be an analyst. But you can't have all of this here. And I would not have him in the booth. If he commits to it and people work with him, then he's got potential there. Because he does have great insight. And you would think that he played it at a high level, that he has to know the game. But I just think the credibility of your broadcast suffers. With what he went through, tested positive a couple of times, trying to take down Major League Baseball in the process at the end of his career when he went kind of off the rails with that interview he did with Mike Francesa, WFAN. And then you want to trot him out as your analyst? It just doesn't make sense. And I remember being with John Skipper, the Yankee president at the time, or the ESPN president at the time, and he said, we're gonna have A-Rod do Sunday Night Baseball. And I said, really? He goes, yeah, think he'll be great. I said, okay. And look, I know I don't get along with A-Rod and vice versa, but I can still respect. There are people that I don't get along with who I respect with what they do. I just have we have a difference. That's all. George Brett will join us coming up. Final hour this Friday. Dan and the Danettes, Dan Patrick Show. How concerned are you, though, when you look at people you imitate and the age of those people that you're imitating? That to keep your act relevant, to have millennials be excited about it as well.
Well, you know what? My audience has gotten actually younger since I went over to ESPN, which is interesting because they show it a lot of different times. If something's good, they're going to use it on 6 sports centers and throw it in a NFL Live or something like that. So that actually is very helpful. And the characters there are much more diverse as well. You get whether it's Stephen A. Smith, I'm incredulous to this entire situation. Mr. Caliendo, I understand where you're coming from with some of this stuff, but do me a favor, cordially and ineptly, stop doing what you're doing.
That's very good, Frank.
He's one of my favorites.
That's very good.
Jaworski.
Let me ask you about Kobe Bryant's future, Stephen A.
I have to believe that Kobe Bryant has played his best days that he will and will not endure some of the sacrifices that he has henceforth and twofold. Like, you don't even know if he's like just finding words.
Yeah.
He's got a Rolodex.
How about Ron Jaworski on Manziel?
I've watched 192 billion hours of videotape on Johnny Manziel, and watching him last night, the footwork was spectacular. The arm strength a little bit better than average. But let me tell you this, after watching him for a quarter and a half, I truly believe Johnny Manziel could be one of the top 150,000 quarterbacks ever. And Jaws will actually text me like, I watched 192 hours of video. That's when the guys do that stuff, that's great. I'm actually going to be with Gruden and Tirico doing something this week, and I can't wait. Because every time, Gruden doesn't know how to, when we're on camera together, he doesn't know what he's supposed to do. Am I supposed to be angry with you, or am I supposed to be enjoying this right now? I'm not really sure, man. I heard you on Dan Patrick. What were you talking about, man? You're talking about me doing video games, man? What was that all about?
Could you call Mike Tirico in Gruden's voice, and would you be able to fool him?
Maybe at the very beginning, but as soon as I'm sure, I think it's pretty close. And on the phone, it makes it even better. But I think he'd pick up on it. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
So I'll play the role of Mike Tirico. Hey, hello.
Hey, Mike, it's me, John. What are you doing, man?
Hey, Coach. Good to talk to you. What's up?
Well, I just wondered, are you preparing for golf or something right now? You got so many jobs. What are you doing? You getting ready for the NBA Finals right now, man? That's what you're all about, isn't it? Hey, I'm Mike Tirico. I never stop working, man. I tell you what, I love listening to you jibber jabber about the NBA Finals in between golf matches. We do Monday Night Football, man. You realize what I do? I sit around all day watching videotape. I don't watch YouTube. I watch Betamax videotape.
VHS.
On a Philips black and white TV that I turn the channels with a pair of pliers, man. I tell you what, that's how my dad did it. That's how my great-great-grandpa did it, who wasn't even around football yet. It was just happening in his head, and he happened to have a television from the future because he built the flux capacitor, man.
Buckle up, boys. Time to go to work.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick. Super happy to be a part of this organization for the rest of my career.
Mookie Betts' deal. More surprising, the timing of it or the length and the amount of money?
So I know the Dodgers to this point under Andrew Friedman had not given out a $100 million deal. It was a matter of which guy was best. First it was Call, but once it was not Call, then it was Mookie. And forget about the back end of the deal. You judge a deal to me on, are you buying the prime years of a player and how good is he right now? And that team is loaded, Dan, for now and for the foreseeable future.
Paul in Boston.
I hate this, and I want to see him get knocked off.
Bringing you the biggest guests and best interviews.
I mean, how could you not root for Mookie Betts? You want to root against the deal, but I don't know if you want to root against Mookie. Mookie didn't do anything wrong.
Broadcasting from the Mercedes Man Cave, this is Dan Patrick.
Good to have baseball back. It was fun. Even the rain-shortened game in Washington, D.C. last night, still fun to watch. And then the Dodgers and Giants in the nightcap, and the Dodgers have an emerging star. Clayton Kershaw goes down with a sore back, and Dustin May, come on in and bring the cheese. And he did last night, shutting down the Giants. Happy birthday today to Karl Malone, Barry Bonds, Nick Nurse of the Raptors, Rick Fox, Jennifer Lopez, Rose Byrne, and Patrick Seton O'Connor Jr. III.
In that order.
Yeah. That's a pretty good list there.
Yeah, that's a strong list.
J-Lo, Barry Bonds, Karl Malone, Rose Byrne, sneaky great. Remember when we saw
Thank
her?
you for having me.
Remember when we saw her in person in New York? And we were at some event for the TV show she was on, Damages, I think.
Yeah.
And John Goodman was there. Who else was there? James Gandolfini was there. And who was the woman who played Redford's girlfriend in the Natural?
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close was
Close.
there.
Yeah.
Some heavy hitters.
Yes. So we're walking in. It's one of those, like, we had no business being there. Us knuckleheads are walking in. but it was on Audience Channel. It was DirecTV, and, you know, our boss, Chris Long, was putting it on. So we walk in, and we had no business being there. And all of a sudden, I get introduced to Rose Byrne, actress, beautiful woman. And she says, "Thank you so much for having me." And I was the host, and I didn't know how to respond to that other than, well, you're welcome. I think she thought I was a big deal, that I was being introduced to her. This is Dan Patrick of the Dan Patrick Show on the Audience Channel. And then she said, "Thank you so much for having me." You're welcome. Yes, Paulie.
Good actress. She was in Neighbors.
Yes, I loved her in Neighbors.
Great movie.
Yeah.
That was a very funny movie.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a movie, too, that you're watching it and you're like, wow, I think that's me.
Wait, Neighbors?
Yeah.
Well, wait, which neighbor were you?
Yeah, no, like no, cool. Yeah, okay, guys, cool. Like, you know, it's sort of 30-something father still trying to be, no, relate. No, I can relate to the younger guys. Yeah. Like, wow.
George Brett will join us. Fritzy swears it was 37 years ago today that George hit the home run, and he was called out after hitting the home run for the pine tar, the excessive pine tar game. And George will join us coming up. I'm sure George he knows that the phone call is coming. It's just a question of who is going to be calling to ask him about the pine tar game. And Duncan Robinson, the Miami Heat forward, he'll join us coming up as well from the bubble. It'd be good to revisit with him again. By the way, here's something for you. Ethan, who is our stats guy, Harvard grad, and he is back with a vengeance. He took yesterday off. After the game that George Brett hit the home run in and was ruled out, he went 24 consecutive games without hitting a home run. When that game ended, Brett's average for the 1983 season stood at 357. Over the rest of that season, he hit 254. So something was taken out of him after that pine tar experience. So George will join us coming up here in a little bit. Rick in Washington joins us on the program. Good morning, Rick. What do you have for me today?
Good morning. 6 foot, shrinking 228 pounds.
Okay.
I just wanted to weigh in on the new Seattle Kraken logo.
Okay.
And I was really surprised how many people really didn't know what a Kraken was. And no, Polly, it's not a Godzilla-like creature, which was badly portrayed in the Clash of the Titans. It's more of a monster, overly large octopus with very large teeth, a bad attitude. And
Are you good with that nickname?
With that nickname, yes.
Are you good?
You
like? Okay.
But the puns it didn't take an hour after the name was released that the puns started. And, of course, the release, the Kraken, is going to be a good one. But the one that seems to worry me the most is that when people start to say, welcome to the crack house.
Well, you're going to get that, and you're going to get crackheads as well, Rick. But, you have to understand that's going to go along with the name. People are going to have fun with it. Make fun of it. Yeah, McLovin.
I saw on Twitter there one group that's offended a little bit. The Seattle Mariners, Mariners seafaring, their ships were taken down by Krakens over the years. Think people might be a shot franchises in between.
It's like the Miami Hurricane. It's not exactly positive for the community.
Yeah, the Mariners don't want Kraken floating around Seattle's harbor. No. By the way, but the guy corrected Paulie and said the same thing Paulie did. Paulie's like, it's a monster, like Godzilla-like monster. He's like, it's a giant squid creature.
Octopus, not a squid.
Sounds a lot like a whatever.
Yeah.
Also just not real, as they say.
Yeah, fictitious sea creature.
Yeah.
It's also, what's that word for it?
Fake.
Fake.
Sounds like...
Jeff in Detroit. Hey, Jeff, what do you have for me today?
Hey, what up, though, Dan? Just calling to wish Seton a happy birthday from everybody in chat row. Out of all of the celebrities whose birthday is today, we on chat row celebrating yours, brother. And as well as telling you guys, the 4 dinners together come like a good soup. It's like all of the ingredients are in there. If you take out one ingredient, the soup is not going to taste the same, and you guys make some damn good soup every day, brother.
Thank you, Jeff. And one day, we'll have you up for a Meat Friday when things are back to so-called normal. But not yet. So don't get in your car and drive up here. By the way, Ethan, our stat guy who graduated from Harvard, just said Seton has as many championship rings as Karl Malone and Barry Bonds does combined. That's a shot there by Ethan.
At me or at Barry Bonds and Karl Malone?
Barry Bonds and Karl Malone.
Okay.
Did you win in Little League?
Oh, yeah, I did. I had the game-winning catch, as a matter of fact.
All right.
Yeah, game-winning catch turn 2. Kirk Astorita.
Yeah.
Sorry, pal.
AJ in Ohio. Hi, AJ. What do you have for me today?
Morning, Dan and Danette, and also happy birthday, Seton.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the baseball. I'm glad it's back. Reds opening day. I think they're going to do well. I got them going to the World Series versus Seton's Yankees. I love the expanded playoffs. Now puts a little bit more urgency. Hey, get the best, win your division, get top 2 records. You get the face, the wild card. I like the fact that all 3 games are, being at home in the first round. I think that I'm not going to put this to whoever wins it. To me, it's not going to be an.
All right. Well, thank you. Got a little trouble there, AJ, with the phone connection. We're dialing in with George Brett. I can see him now. He'll join us any minute. Let me see. What's the poll question, McLovin?
Well, it was does 16 games ordered on the MLB playoffs, which the poll question I wanted to ask, the greatest third baseman of all time, Mike Schmidt, George Brett, or Brooks Robinson are top 3 on most people's list, with Chipper in the mix.
Okay.
Philly guy, obviously, I have to say Mike Schmidt.
Okay. Yeah, Chipper's got a pretty good resume there.
ESPN has an official list with Brett number 2 of all time and Schmidt 1. So he's considered the second best or first best third baseman of all time.
Okay. Because Schmidt was a great fielder as well and hit a lot of home runs. Batting average-wise, he wasn't the same as George. George, who shares the same birthday with me as well, May 15th. And George is getting locked in here, and I can see there, George. He's...
You know what? I'm going to show you some of my guys.
Okay. So George Brett is joining us.
Who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Okay, wait. Let me see.
Can you see him? George Toma, groundskeeper.
Okay, I didn't expect him to have a bobblehead. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Who's this guy? Okay. Who's this guy? Hold on. I got to get it up on the screen.
Yeah, your camera work is terrible, George.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, here we go.
I'm walking back. I tried to get on my computer, Dan, And of course, it said you need to update, and I'm not good at that stuff.
Okay.
So who's this guy right here? Look at this guy.
Is that Mr. Kaufman?
No, Warren Buffett.
Okay. Hey, Warren Buffett bobblehead.
I got some bobbleheads for you.
What else do you have in there? What's the coolest piece of memorabilia you have?
The coolest piece of memorabilia, I would say, would be these three guys, because I'm on my iPad.
Okay.
These three guys right here.
Ooh.
3 silver bats.
I like that. It's impressive.
And then one year I went to Cooperstown.
Yeah, I
and
heard
I was there.
you got inducted there too, George.
Yeah, but then I got one
Ooh.
year I went and I got everybody that was there baseballs signed.
That is impressive.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. How many Hall
That's
of
pretty
Famers?
cool.
How many Hall of Famers do you have there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 64. 8
That's
times
pretty
8,
good.
64, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
Is
Yeah.
that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, 64.
Hey, rumor has it that it was 37 years ago today that you had the Pine Tar home run. Do you dread this day?
No, I like it.
So you're okay with Fritzy reaching out to you to say, hey, let's reminisce about the Pine Tar game when you went crazy after the home run was taken away from you.
Sure. Why wouldn't I? I mean, I didn't strike out with the bases loaded. I didn't have a ball go between my legs. I didn't drop a pop up. If you want to be known for something, Dan, hitting a home run off a Hall of Fame pitcher in a big good situation, top of the 9th inning, down 1 run or down 2 runs, and you hit a 3-run home run off them. I mean, that's pretty good, or a 2-run home run. That's a pretty good thing to be remembered for. I have a bat that I got.
Okay. I love this show and tell here.
Yeah, I got a bat that I gave Mike Boddicker my last year.
Former Orioles pitcher.
And he called me up one day and he says, "Hey, George, I'd love for you to sign this. I have a bat collection." And so the next thing you know, we're talking and he brings it over, brings his son Corey with him, and he shows me this bat. This bat right here is the most pine-tarred bat I've ever used in my life. That's a real bat. And look at that.
Oh my God, George, I can barely.
That is all the pine-tar bat. The pine tar came right to here. You know, it was 2 inches shorter. And they called me out on that. And then this is a bat I used in 1993, my last year. And so Mike Boddicker brings it over to the house, and I'm sitting there playing with it in my office, just playing with it. And I'm going, God, I don't have any used bats that I've ever used in a game. I don't have any. You know, I broke hundreds of them, but you always gave them away because memorabilia back when I was playing wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah. And
so he looked at it. He says, God, you love that. I said, Mike, I'd love this bat. He said, keep it. So what I did, Dan, is I said, well, I got to give you something in return. And every year we go to Cooperstown, everybody signs a bat. Everybody that goes there signs a bat. So I had like 55 Hall of Famers on this one bat. And I got them over here in a little thing. I got about 6 of them. And I finally just said, pick one, it's yours. So he took a bat that had 60 Hall of Fame baseball players on it. I ever made 60 of those guys for a real game used bat that I used.
And the Pine Tar bat is in Cooperstown?
It's in Cooperstown. And the one thing I shouldn't have done is Gaylord Perry was on our team, and Gaylord was a collector. He was a collector before collecting was big and popular. And I get the bat back a week later. And they sent it to me in Detroit, and I go up and I use it. And so before I used it, I had to clean it up. I got some alcohol in a rag, and I cleaned all the pine tar off until 18 inches. I drew a little red line where 18 inches was because I didn't want to break the rules. And Gaylord comes up to me and he says, "What bat are you using?" And I said, "The pine tar bat." He said, "You know, that's worth a lot of money. If you break it, it's worth nothing." So I said, okay. And then I ended up giving it to the Hall of Fame.
You know, your reaction, are you surprised when you see your reaction? When you come out of the dugout, like you know, you're a competitive guy. You weren't afraid to compete. You weren't afraid to, you know, throw a punch at Greg Nettles. But you're coming out of that dugout. Had you ever been that mad in a baseball game before?
I don't think so. No, when I saw my reaction, I went, "You got to be kidding me!" I mean, what's with the flailing arms, doing all that stuff? I mean, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. In fact, they did a bobblehead of that, of the flailing arms. You know, instead of a bobblehead moving, my arms go up and down. But no, I had never seen anything like that. And then when you see the full video of Joe Brinkman coming behind me and grabbing me, and I don't know who it is. I didn't realize it was an umpire because he's behind me. And so I'm trying to get away. As much as I knew, it could have been Billy Martin or Greg Nettles or Goose Gossage. Who knows? And so I'm trying to get away, and that really makes it look a lot worse than it was. And then when it was all said and done, then I realized that Gaylord Perry stole the bat from the umpire. Are you aware of that?
Well, that he wanted to collect. Did he want
to? He didn't think anybody was going to chase after him. So he takes the bat out of Tim McClellan's hand. And rumor has it he threw it to Steve Ranko because, you know, the police started gathering around him. And now Steve Ranko has it. He just takes off running to the locker room. And now all the police are following him up to the locker room to get the bat. So it makes me look like, you know, I was using a concealed weapon. You know, they're trying to hide the evidence. Which
well,
really,
like
there was no.
Yeah, it wasn't a cork bat like Albert Bell. It was just excessive.
Or a lot of guys.
How prevalent do you think were cork bats back when you played?
I don't think they are now. They were pretty prevalent when I was playing.
Did you ever try one?
No, I never did.
Did you ever
Never did.
know of somebody that was using them?
Yes, some of my teammates used them.
But so you put the Super Balls in there, so you drill out the center or the top of it?
You drill out the center of the bat down about 5 inches from what I'm told. And then they get cork and they stick cork in there and just cram that cork in there as tight as they can, or Super Balls or whatever. And then they put some putty over the end of it so you can't really tell. And then, I think it was Greg Nettles one time swung and the top came off and Super Balls went flying all over the field, you know? And then you remember Chris Sabo.
Yes.
Chris Sabo, when he broke a bat in two, how the whole inside of the bat was hollowed out and there was cork inside. Now, I don't know if they use a Cabernet, a Merlot, you know, a good Chardonnay cork or what. I don't know what wine goes best with that. But, yeah, there was a lot of that cheating going on.
He's George Brett. He is the Royals vice president of baseball operations, the former Royals third baseman. You hit, 317 home runs, something like that in your career? If you played now, launch angle, the whole thing, would you have 3,000 hits, or would you have 450 home runs?
I would have 3,000 hits. I think my deal is, and to be honest with you, Dan, I don't think you create launch angle. If my bat stayed through the zone a long time. The same plane as the ball came, my bat stayed on that plane a real long time. So that's one reason I didn't strike out much. If I hit the ball on the dead round part of the bat, right square, it's going to be a line drive. If I hit a little below that, it's going to be a ground ball. If I hit it a little above that, it's going to create the launch angle. But I think now people are trying to create launch angle. That's why you have so many strikeouts in the game. And I think that's why the game's getting a little more boring to watch, because there's too many strikeouts and the ball's not put in play as much. To me, launch angle is the angle the ball comes off the bat. I don't think you can create it. But I think a lot of people are teaching that now. And as a result, I mean, I wouldn't have changed. Never tried. Well, I tried to hit a home run. I never hit one trying. So I learned really early in my career, don't try to hit home runs. Home runs come as a result of a good swing. And I just tried to take a good swing at everything and tried to hit a hard line drive up the middle or right center or left center. And if I got it pretty good, it would, if I got it a little higher on the bat, it would be a fly ball. And if I hit it good enough, it'd be a home run. And playing in the biggest ballpark in the American League in Kansas City, 81 home games and AstroTurf Field. I mean, it was a very fast field. Mm-hmm. Our teams never really did hit a lot of home runs. We were singles, doubles, triples teams and stole a lot of bases. And that's what our recipe for success was. And we were a really successful franchise when we did that.
It's great to talk to you. Hope you're well. And
Yeah, I'm doing good. How you holding up?
everything's good. No complaint. Yeah, we just been kind of quiet here, trying to be smart and just trying to be a 5-tool broadcaster here.
Yeah, well, you've always been that.
Thank you, George. Thank you. I appreciate that, as always. And sorry I didn't call you on our birthday.
Yeah, well, you kind of missed that the last few years.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping you'd call me.
I don't know how to get a hold of you. You know how to get a hold of me.
Fritzy, you can give George my number finally.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Chad Ward has it.
Oh, Chad Ward, our Traeger barbecue guy. Yes, he does,
Yeah.
George.
Isn't he the best?
Oh, man.
I love that guy.
I texted him last night because I'm making something for the family today. And he got back to me, in the span of like 15 minutes with the recipe of what I need to do on the Traeger grill today.
He always does that to me. If I ever have a question, if I'm going to try something new, I text him. I said, okay, how do I do this?
Yes.
And within 10 minutes, he usually responds.
Yep.
He called me the other day. He, what do they call that? Not a Zoom call, FaceTime.
Yeah.
FaceTime me from Ken Griffey's office. Saying, I thought your office was pretty cool. Look at this. And so then I had to show my World Series trophy and some silver sluggers. And I showed him my Mission Hills Country Club trophy for being the club champion 2 years ago, which is the biggest upset and the biggest farce in the history of anything. But I showed him that, and I says, yeah, but does Ken Griffey have any of these? He had all his silver sluggers. He had 20 gold gloves lined up. I got one. I got 3 silver bats. I don't think Ken Griffey ever won a batting championship, though, but it was kind of cool comparing offices with him in Florida. But no, Chad is one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And he cooks for you a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he shows up at the Super Bowl. Anytime we need him, Chad shows up. He's
Right.
really a generous soul.
Well, do you know what you should think about doing is going to Salt Lake City, the headquarters for Traeger.
Yeah.
And he does cooking classes. And me and my son Jackson, who's a big tailgater for all the Chiefs games, he'll have 50 people at his tailgates. Charges everybody $20, and he'll be doing brisket the day before. He'll be doing ribs, and if it's a noon game, they leave at 6:30 in the morning to go set up their thing. They even have a urinal there in a tent with kitty litter in there, but it's pretty cool. And he's just become a great friend.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's a good
and I
man.
love the Traeger. I just love the Traeger.
Well, it's good to connect with you, buddy. And
You too.
Be well, and I'll let Fritzy give you my number, George.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
And now, where you at? You're up
Connecticut.
in Connecticut. Okay.
Yeah.
If I ever get up there, I'll look you up. We'll play golf or something.
That would be nice, or we'll just have barbecue.
Sounds good.
Thank you, George. That's the great George Brett. It's 37 years ago today, the Pine Tar game. We'll take a break. We'll check in with the Orlando Bubble. Duncan Robinson of the Miami Heat will join us, and phone calls as well on this Meat Friday. Back after this. Raycon, buy Raycon.com. You're going to love these wireless earbuds. And Seton turned me on to them. He said, just listen to these. Tell me what you think. And I said, well, they sound great. These are the everyday E25 earbuds. What I like is you have the nice noise isolating fit. It's got bass in it, good bass in there. The Bluetooth pairing is seamless. 6 hours of playtime. And when it comes to wireless earbuds, they're about half the price of the other premium wireless earbuds on the market. If you don't believe me, Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, Melissa Etheridge, they are all obsessed with Raycons, and you'll see and hear the difference. There's no dangling wires, stylish, discreet. Get 15% off your buyraycon.com/Patrick. That's the order. I'm not ordering you, but that's how you order it. Buyraycon.com/Patrick for 15% off Raycon wireless earbuds. You're catching a first down, and granted, you would get a 4-yard pass.
Right.
And you made it seem like you got an 80-yard pass.
Well, because listen.
Right?
It can take the journey from goal line to goal line is a long journey. In between it, in order to get that through that long journey, I thought when I was a young age, I said, if I just had a few small celebrations along the way, I don't have to wait till I get to the big celebration, because that's too long of a journey.
Yeah, that's true.
But if I just make a small celebration here, small celebration here, small celebration, then I can get to the big celebration. So the first downs became the small celebrations. And if you just keep getting the small celebrations, you'll end up in the big one. That's why I always said. So I started doing the celebrations on the first down. First down. Then we got to the touchdown. You know what I mean? You're going right in a bang eight.
Bang eight.
That means you're going to get banged up by the safety. That means you're running this, and you're going to just a slight turn right here. The safety's going to come right there.
And he's
it's going to
gonna
be a
hit you.
bang, bang when you catch it. But they tell you go up big and hold on to it.
So bang 8. Okay, so
Bang eight, I was a bang eight.
No, we're just going to do a 4-yard.
down and in.
Down and in, 4-yard.
Your first
But
down.
you don't want me to come by right here and I play the safety?
No, I don't want anybody to get hurt.
No. Oh, no.
If
We
it
can
was-
really simulate this thing. You come here, bang, right there.
Okay, he's going to do the first down celebration. Mike, you got to judge. All right, Paulie.
Okay, let's go.
It's Mike at the U. First down, out of bounds.
Oh, okay.
You used to stretch it.
All right.
See, you see, wait. You see,
Was it okay?
You saw that. You saw that, okay. Okay, I saw
Fritzy,
that. You
here we
saw
go.
that one. I'm gonna get some grade on this. Oh, okay. I like it.
All right, McLovin. All right.
Love it. Let me see what you got. Okay.
All right.
Love it. Add a little something to it.
All right.
You put
All
a
right,
little brother on it. I like
I
that.
feel like there's one key component so far that's been missing.
All right.
All right, so I have to take a liberty here.
Okay.
All right.
Take your liberty, buddy.
All right. I'll be out here all day, baby. All day.
I like
I don't feel like you were quite that quiet.
All day.
All day.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, let me show you what you missing. Dan throws it. Come in. See, you get tackled. You got to come up. The crowd is there. Don't just go straight into it. Let them know. I just caught this. Come on, baby. Come on. Yeah. You get the crowd into that thing. That's what you got to do, man.
Thank you, buddy.
You see how tough?
Thank you, bud.
Congratulations to Drew in North Carolina, who figured out today's Dan Patrick Show scoreboard. I'm getting balls thrown at me. Number 3, number 5. We'll start with number 3. It's the thrill of the fight, Clubber Lang. Number 3, on this date in 1982, Eye of the Tiger by Survivor from Rocky 3, therefore the number 3 on the scoreboard. 6-week run at number 1 on the U.S. charts. It won the Grammy for Best Rock Performance, so 3 is Rocky 3. This date in 1982, Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, number 1. Number 5 was just on our show, Kansas City Royals Hall of Famer, third baseman. Number 5, George Brett. Home run against the Yankees, taken off the board, left the home run off Goose Gossage due to pine tar found in his bat. Later, it was reinstated and it counted. They had to finish up the game. But anyway, number 3, Rocky 3. 5, Hall of Famer, George Brett. Drew, North Carolina, good job. Have a good weekend.
Alrighty. Just went out and inspected the Traeger grill, these short ribs that I've been making. I had to marinate those for a few hours, and we started those about 3 hours ago. So once again, just want to make sure the Danettes have a good day and a good start to their weekend. And it's Seton's birthday as well. So just want to make sure the final half hour is a wonderful occasion for you. Seton.
Very thoughtful. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. He's one of the great shooters in the NBA, but I got more important things to ask him. He's our bubble correspondent. He is the star shooter for the Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson, back on the program. Duncan, given the problem that J.R. Smith has, that he only brought 7 pairs of underwear, how many pairs of underwear did you bring to the bubble?
I got plenty. And they do a good job. We get laundry done twice a week, so the rotation is all good.
Okay, that was all I wanted to know, Duncan. Have a good week there. So, what was it like playing a game in the bubble after all of this time?
It's definitely a little different. The atmosphere just being so quiet, really. Some of the conversations that you can hear throughout a game that you normally wouldn't be able to hear, whether it be on the bench or amongst players. But it's, to be honest with you, I'm pretty used to it just because, as recent as last year, I was playing in the G League, and those are some pretty quiet gyms as well. So it's nothing new for me.
But are you going to have to modify what you say? Do you think that guys are going to be aware of, the language out there?
Yeah, we quickly learned. We've played one game, but we quickly learned that the conversations amidst players gets picked up very easily on mics. One of our video guys who spends the entire game in the locker room, basically cutting up film, was saying that he was picking up conversation on the court and just told all of us to be wary of what we were saying. So definitely kind of adds a new dynamic for sure.
Okay, but who would you worry about the most on your team saying something inappropriate?
I'd probably jump to Jimmy.
Butler.
Jimmy Butler. He's a very open personality and just kind of says what's on his mind. So I would maybe worry about something being picked up that maybe the public shouldn't be hearing.
Yeah, but what about this story where he got somebody yelled at him for dribbling the basketball early in the morning?
Yeah, I had heard about that. I'm only a couple of doors down from him, so I certainly wasn't the one complaining. I guess there was the floor below him, but when we first got here, we had an initial quarantine of 48 hours, so I guess he got a little restless in his room.
Okay, but do you know who's underneath you? Is there another team underneath you?
Honestly, I don't. I don't. I think it's mostly spread up where each team has a floor, but I'm not sure who's on the floor below us now.
Aside from basketball, what do you do in the bubble?
Yes, there's a lot of downtime. It's been great to just been able to catch up with my teammates. We've had a great opportunity to just sit down at restaurants, get meals, that sort of thing. I brought my golf club, so I've been playing golf a little bit here and there. And then a couple guys on our staff are really good fishermen. So I'm not much of a fisherman myself, but I've been able to link on with them and catch a few.
Food situation worth complaining about?
No, I think it's pretty good. It's definitely a little unconventional just in how they have to serve everything, just because they want to make sure it's all sanitary and everything's compartmentalized. But it's nothing to complain about. There's lots of options. The meals that they give us are solid, but there's also restaurant options as well if you don't like what you're being served.
But are you confident that the season's starting on time?
I am, yeah. It certainly seems that way. One thing that really jumps out at you is just the emphasis on the safety protocol, and they've done a great job of enforcing it. It's never going to be perfect, but they've certainly made it so we all feel safe here. That's for sure.
And what about social distancing on the bench?
Yeah, that's definitely unique. We're all spread out. There's like different rows of the bench, and we're all supposed to be 6 feet apart, which is a little funky in theory, just because we practice against each other every day, and then we're out there on the floor, and then for whatever reason, as soon as we step outside the lines, then we got to be 6 feet apart. But I understand it. They're just trying to emphasize being apart from each other and social distancing in general.
If I gave you 100 threes to shoot, just by yourself,
yeah,
how many are you making?
So we have like an assessment that we do here. I'm usually somewhere around like high 80s. The best I've ever had, I got 93 a little while back. Wow. So that's my best. But that's just stationary catch and shoot.
That's still pretty good. That's still pretty good.
If you can catch a rhythm and kind of get going, you can just kind of get in that little bit of a zone. But obviously it's a lot different in a game. You got people guarding you, trying to stop you from shooting open ones. So it's different.
But have you ever just let it fly and then you say to the defender, take that, or that's in, or face, or
I actually talk a little bit more than people would maybe expect. And it's not so much like trash talk as much as it is just like me kind of hyping myself up.
Wait! Give me a for instance, because given your face, there is no way I would be intimidated if you're talking trash to me.
I don't know if I should take that personally or what. But
I'm nervous about you shooting. I'm just not worried about you like saying like, take
Sure.
that, punk. Or
Yeah.
there's more where that came from.
Yeah, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When Jimmy first got to Miami, his first day there, we were playing pickup, and him and I kind of got into it, going back and forth. We were guarding each other, and at this point, I was just basically trying to make the team. But it's kind of how I play. I have a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, and he went under on a screen. And as soon as I let go of the ball, I let him know about it. Basically, don't ever go under a screen on me, and let him know that he should have been there. So that's kind of what I kind of do. It's more like in jest than anything. It's not really like a personal attack on anybody. It's more kind of the psychological warfare, I guess.
But you wouldn't do that to LeBron, would you? If LeBron went under on a screen and you let one fly and you knew it was going in, you would.
Probably. I mean, once you get between the lines, anything's possible. I don't want to say I would never, but it maybe wouldn't be my best judgment to do so, just because that kind of lights a fire within him.
Well, go back to the story you told us that when you played the first time you played against him, he was not even guarding you. He basically was like, "Oh, I'm going to let that guy stand out there." He didn't even know how great a shooter you were.
Yeah, I hopefully by now I've garnered somewhat of a level of respect. Or actually, honestly, hopefully I haven't, and I continue to be open. But we'll see if we run into them in the playoffs here.
That'd be a good thing. You're running your sweepstakes. You're raising funds for the United Way, and we want to make sure you get a mention of that as well.
Yeah, there's almost a little bit less than a week left in the sweepstakes. It's basically just an opportunity for me to try to give back to a community in Miami that's done so much for me. So it's a raffle based thing. So you just buy tickets, and there's all sorts of different prizes. The grand prize is basically like a VIP game night. Obviously, this is all assuming that things get back to normal here, hopefully soon. But there's other ones. There's Zoom sessions and shooting lessons, and even a round of golf. So that's through the Let's Engage platform. It can be found on my social media as well. The links to it all. But yeah, I just thought it would be a great way to give back to a community, and especially in these uncertain times. I just want to try to use my platform to create some positive change.
Yeah, it's letsengage.com/pop-ups to support the cause there with Duncan Robinson. Hey, good luck. And thanks again for making some time, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to you again.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate
That's
it.
Duncan Robinson. He can sort of talk trash. Hey, don't go under on that screen. See, I'm being mean-spirited here. I got to wait till he turns off his Zoom, and then I can have a little bit more fun. See you, Duncan. He was there. He was getting ready to turn it off. He goes, well, let me wait and listen.
Let me listen to this a little longer.
Let me see what he's going to say. I just can't imagine. He is a babyface assassin. Hey, don't go under that screen, or you're going to get more of this.
Maybe
Yes.
that's what makes the trash talk so much more brutal, is that it's just coming from a baby-faced assassin.
Hey, take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paulie.
I wonder if guys like that, though, have to have that level of cockiness, confidence to go from the G League to playing 30 minutes a game in the NBA in less than a year. That's nuts. I mean,
I know, but if you're going to say something, he's trying to make the team.
But it's almost for you, not for them, where I believe in myself so much that I'm talking this smack. It, like you said, it pumps him up not to jab people.
Now, if I'm Jimmy Butler and he's my teammate or trying to make the team and he's that confident, then I like that. But if I'm facing that and all of a sudden he says, don't go under that screen, I'll make you pay. I just can't imagine him having any, like street conversation with you. Like saying, hey, punk, take that. But man, can he shoot. Obviously, great shooter, but people are starting to realize just how great a shooter he is, and that's I appreciate that because he came out of nowhere to make the team, and then he is a legitimate great knockdown 3-point shooter, and that's all he does. He just takes threes. Just the amount of effort it takes if you stand at the 3-point line, if you're 25 years of age, which I think he is. And you just put up 100 threes in a row. You're tired. I mean, that's distance. But to do 100 and he made 93 out of 100. Crazy. All right, last call for phone calls. We're going to go check on the Traeger if you're watching on youtube.com/The Dan Patrick Show. Take a break, close up shop right after this. More fun to hang out with, Tara and Johnny or Jim Valvano?
A little bit different. I'd like to compare the two entities, and V would get a kick out of that. But, in their own right, I think interesting as well. Listen, there was nobody like Jim Valvano. Walked into a room, took it over. He was on 24/7. There was a moment that I was ever in the room with him where I didn't have to have my A game or he would tear me to shreds. And if you were within, 20 feet, you better bring it or he's going to just take you down with the conversation and the wit. And slept about 4 hours a night and was into everything. Was an English major, was into business, had investments, would quote the great poets and writers. There's never been anybody like Jim Valvano that I've been around.
But also, revisionist history here. Do you tell people, how much you scored or, what role you played in shutting down Phi Slamma Jamma?
First of all, it was a charge. Clyde Drexler, certainly I had my feet planted. It might have been a little bit of a wraparound Butkus-like tackle, but that was okay back then. See, that was legal back then. The game has changed a little bit, Dan. And, of course, I averaged 25 points per game, had 32 in that championship game. Yeah.
But when you look back on Valvano looking for somebody to hug, why didn't somebody hug him?
He wasn't quick enough. I mean, first of all, you got to be out there quickly. I don't know where Wittenberg was. Derek Wittenberg was supposed to be the designated hugger. He was in charge of that. I mean, we were doing our own thing. I had Thurl Bailey, at midcourt, and I wasn't looking for anybody. It just happened. Organic, and it happened organically.
Was that a shot by Wittenberg?
Oh, you're serious? Oh,
I thought. Now he said, Paulie, do you have Wittenberg saying it was a pass?
I have different articles from around the game saying that it was a lob pass by Wittenberg for Charles.
Yeah. We worked on that. That was our last play. We drew it up before the game. If we get in this situation, what we're going to do, we're going to take a 30-footer and lob it up to Lorenzo Charles with Elijah Wan right there in front of him. Yeah.
Birthday ribs.
Happy birthday!
Yay! These are really perfect. They're nice and warm inside.
Damn good.
Not a little bit of sauce.
Yeah. That's what I want to try over there.
What is that? Herb-crusted short rib. Holy smokes.
I'm betting.
Alan Zander.
Do they need to sit for a while, or are they okay?
They should sit, but Dan wants to try it.
Good time.
Hot.
Yeah, that's hot.
That's hot. Where's Paris Hilton these days? Pretty quiet.
Really?
I was just going to say that.
That's hot.
I think she's gotten to the point where she's too old to give you this shock.
Is she retired?
I don't know.
I think she's just an entrepreneur now.
I wonder if she's ever had a job. Like where she filled out, a W-2. She went in.
Who did spend all weekend in their room listening to the new T-Swizzle album?
Thank you.
I knew you are. That's a given. I'm surprised you haven't memorized it all yet.
Careful, buddy.
Thanks, pal. I can't believe that the national dude's getting so much love.
Aaron Desner?
Bro.
Try a little bit of short rib.
He is a great producer, though, right?
Yeah, he really is.
You told me, I think I remember you telling me years ago that they had a studio around here, like in 2010.
In New Haven. They recorded,
Really?
I think they recorded some of Boxer in New Haven, or maybe the one after, I'm not sure.
What's their connection up here? Are they from up here?
No, I don't know. I think it's more about the studio than it was the.
All right.
Ooh, yeah.
Boy, this is good.
Close up shop as we always do on Friday. Yeah, I'm going to send this out to Bob Schmidt. He does the opens for our show on radio. Does a wonderful job. Great sense of humor. Just got engaged. Thank you, Bob. Last call for phone calls, what we learn, what's in store tomorrow. Goran Dragic, who was a teammate of Duncan Robinson, who we just had on, says Steph Curry's not the best shooter in the game. The best shooter is Duncan Robinson. Now, that's what Duncan does. He shoots threes, and he makes almost 45% of his three-pointers, which puts him in that Klay Thompson, Steph Curry category. Obviously, you get a more well-rounded game from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But Robinson is fourth in the NBA in three-point percentage behind J.J. Redick, Seth Curry, and George Hill. Wow. So that's fun. Fun to have somebody on from inside the bubble and, that age and, this whole new experience of making a team and then being part of something here. And then you go into the bubble. The Traeger Meat Friday, Traeger's done it again. The return to sports is ramping up, so make sure you're making your best game day snacks. And you can cook them on your Traeger grill. Pick up yours today at a local dealer. Visit TraegerGrills.com/DP show. Make sure you use the promo code Dan at checkout, and you get free shipping. George in Ohio joins us. George, what's on your mind today?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, George.
Happy birthday to Seton.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Ribs look good.
Thank you.
Hey, a quick over-under on the baseball season. Hoping nothing happens between now and then, but I think for the first time in 80 years, I think we're going to have a 400 hitter. I'm over on that one. It'd be a huge asterisk, I would think. But what do you think about that? And we'll catch you guys later.
I'm going to go under on that. Thank you, George. We won't have a 400 batting average with these 60 games. We've had it over a 60-game span. We haven't had somebody start the season and go the first 60 games batting over 400, I don't believe. Yeah, Paul.
How do you think baseball purists and the media would treat someone who hit 400 this season?
They'll have an asterisk attached to it that they'll say, oh, such and such batted 400, but that was in the 60-game season. It feels like you're going to have – I would have to have half a season before I think the baseball purists would acknowledge that. Somebody's going to win the Cy Young, and they could go 6-2. Because if you're getting 11 starts maybe, if somebody goes 10-0, then they're going to probably win the Cy Young. Or, as Tom Verducci said, somebody's going to have an ERA of under 1.12, which is the all-time record by Bob Gibson in 1968. Yeah, Paul.
High batting average is not the thing anymore. Last year, 335 led the majors.
Yeah.
That's a long way from 400.
Yeah. As McLovin has been saying for a few years now, nobody cares about batting average.
On-base percentage, slugging percentage.
Yeah. I want to play this for you. The Washington head coach, Ron Rivera, was on the program first hour, and I appreciate him coming on. And I asked him, at what point did you see enough where you said Dwayne Haskins is going to be my quarterback?
Well, I've seen enough to say that he's going to compete to be our quarterback. If you really go down and you watch those last 4 games that
I
he
agree.
started and played,
Yep.
you feel pretty good about him. You really did. I did, that's for sure. But as I said, though, I'm not saying he's our starting quarterback. What I am saying is he's in position to be our starting quarterback. He showed enough that I believe that we have to give him a look. And I'm going to be very honest. That's why I didn't jump out and try to get Cam signed right away, because I have to watch Dwayne and see where he is. I can't stunt his growth. We've got to give him the opportunity to show us what he can or can't do.
As honest, as forthcoming. Because I think if he had been there and already saw Dwayne Haskins and had the opportunity to get Cam Newton, he probably would have gone and brought in Cam Newton. Jesse in Los Angeles. Hey, Jess, what do you have for me today?
Hey, Dan X. It's Positivity Friday. I'm going to start a bit negative, but I promise I'll finish positive.
Okay.
I wanted to say thank you for offering up the most welcoming distraction for me this week. My brothers and I, we lost our mom this past weekend, and you guys had some great shows that helped me get through. And what you guys do for the listeners, it can't be measured. So thank you all. And that brings me to my positive. Not firing shots, I promise. There were some gloves and a ball there, and I was able to play catch with my dad and brothers during the time while being back home, and I hadn't done that in like 20 years. So thanks a lot for everything, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Jesse. Glad we could play a small part in your life. But to be able to get out there and toss the baseball, yes, Eaton.
I love it. He's up on the show. If he's throwing out dad jokes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
He's like, no, not a shot. I'm just saying that I got to play catch with my dad, and it's not a shot. It's just a nice thing I was able to do.
Hey, we take shots. Well, Paulie and I do. I don't know if Fritzy takes shots. His dad's dead. You're not big on death, but,
Yeah.
Paulie and I, we have fun with our dad dying.
Sometimes you have to embrace these things.
Yeah, we do. Better that we do it before you do it. That's always been my motto, certainly with my brothers. Like, I'd rather make fun of myself before they make fun of me. Yeah, see.
It's funny because that gallows humor is very unique to people with it. Like this morning, Paul said, "Oh, hey, happy birthday! I made it to another one." And I said, "Yeah, thanks. I had the under." And Marvin in the back was like, "Jeez, did you just say you had the under on your birthdays?"
Well, Marvin is relatively new around here. When people hear us talk about our dads dying, and then they don't know how to react. But usually if we're at a dinner and then, be like, Paulie will say, oh, man, my dad, he used to love this kind of meal or whatever, but he's dead. And then you'll just see somebody go, what? Did he just say his dad's dead?
Oh, my dad's dead.
Yeah,
so.
my dad's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad's dead too. Yeah, Paulie.
But I was dark early. Like a year after my dad died, like a salesman would call the house. Excuse me, son, can I speak to your father or the man in the house? Like, you're going to have to hold a while. And my mom was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I thought it was funny at 12. Sad.
Speaking of 12, Gaben in Virginia is 12 years of age. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
I've been watching your show a long time, DP. Pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
4'8", 80 pounds.
Oh, that okay. Well, I'm glad you're calling in. I'm glad that you like the show. We appreciate that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay.
We're traveling to Florida right now.
What?
We're traveling to Florida right now.
Oh, cool. Well, tell mom and dad that I said hello and be safe. And make sure you do the following. Make sure every 5 minutes you say, Dad, are we there? Are we there yet?
I got it.
Okay. Thank you, Gaben. That's he's 12 years of age, going to Florida. We there yet? We there yet? It's not unheard of for a player to hit 400 in his team's first 60 games of the season, according to Ethan. The last to do it, Chipper Jones, hit 409 in 2008. Thank you, Ethan, for setting me straight there.
See, I knew that too, but I was polite enough not to.
Oh, we can't even do this day in sports history, Paulie.
George Brett.
37 years ago, Pine Tar game.
We think 37.
Todd, what did I learn on today's program?
Ron Rivera says former Bears teammate Walter Payton played a big role in him getting a coaching opportunity. How about that? Sweetness.
What we learned brought to you by buyraycon.com/Patrick. The wireless earbuds, the way to go. Get 15% off your Buy Raycon order at buyraycon.com/Patrick. That's buyraycon.com/Patrick. Have a safe weekend, everybody. We look forward to talking to you on Monday.